Live from Gretna High School, Lester Bond Field. It's time for Colonels football. The Altavista Colonels back on 105.5 KD Country, and it's rivalry football time again. The Altavista Colonels in town to take on Gretna Hawks. I'm Kyle Hoehne. With me is my partner in crime, the man of the hour. He's too sweet to be sour, Mr. Dennis Jarvis. How are you this week, Dennis?
I'm fantastic this week. I've been psyched to be a part of this historic rivalry here in Central Virginia. You know, this will be not the first time we get to call this game. It'll be we'll see these gentlemen again in 2 weeks. And we came off 2 weeks of big rivals in Rutherford and William Campbell. And now Altavista is right in it again with this historic 5-time state champion, Gretna Hawks.
Yeah, everybody seems to be a rivalry game lately for the Altavista Colonels. Last week, the Colonels did fall to one of those rivals, the William Campbell Generals, 41-13. Dennis and I will recap that ball game, and I got a chance to ask Coach Sharness a few questions about the game last week. He took a lot of the blame for last week's performance, said he didn't think he and his coaching staff really did their best job getting the guys fired up. Dennis, we'll see if maybe we see some extra enthusiasm out of the Colonels here tonight. It's homecoming for the Hawks, so maybe that plays into the energy level for both ball clubs. Maybe you always want to come in and spoil the other team's homecoming, right?
You're true. You know, we were talking in pregame. I said, you know, the heat wave's gone. It's a good, moderate, mild temperature tonight, but you will not tell that from our fans from Altavista, the fans here at Gretna. It's one of those heated rivalries. It's just like the frying pan's coming out of the oven and going on the front stove. I make some cornbread after a while. So it is a big game tonight. And, you know, we're 1-4, and Altavista's 1-4, and Hawks are 5-0 on the season. They've been on the road a lot, too. So
yeah.
I wonder if that makes them road-weary and home-happy.
Yeah, I would think that they'd be happy to play in front of this home crowd, and it is a big crowd. They're already here. They're already into the homecoming festivities. We'll tell you about that and more when we come back. Let's chat with head coach Mike Sharness from the Altavista Colonels right after this timeout. It's Altavista. It's Gretna. It's rivalry football time. There'll be kickoff in about 25 minutes. You'll hear it live on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial of Altavista offers mobile welding and repair services, fully equipped service trucks, certified craftsmen, and quick response to satisfy your needs. Contact PCM Industrial at powerconstruction.com. PCM Industrial is a fully insured Class A licensed contractor, OSHA and MSHA compliant. PCM Industrial Services of Altavista wishes Coach Sharness and the Altavista Colonels football team good luck in another winning season. Go Colonels!
Your home is your biggest investment. It must be handled properly. Let the professionals at D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling handle your home issues. Donnie and his trained professional staff are ready at 434-841-1580. They can make sure your home or business HVAC system is ready. Ready for the rest of the summer and ready for the upcoming fall and winter. Call D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling at 434-841-1580. That's 841-1580. D.L. Bryant is ready to protect your investment.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
Brought to you by English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
We're down here at Gretna High School. The Altavista Colonels in town to take on the Hawks. Another rivalry game for Altavista and one for Gretna as well. We're talking with the head coach of the Altavista Colonels, Mike Sharness. And Coach Sharness, let's revisit last week just for a moment here. The loss to William Campbell, another team that's undefeated. I guess we can say that about everybody on your schedule up to this point so far. The Generals got you with those two early touchdowns there, the onside kick sandwiched in between. How tough was it to come back from that early start? I mean, after that, you guys played pretty well, but spotting a team 14 points like that, it's pretty much impossible.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how well we played, Kyle. We didn't coach very well. I didn't think overall. I didn't think our kids played with much energy, and I think a lot of it has to do with the beginning of the game. They put two big scores on, and we just looked like we were lifeless there. We we didn't give as much effort as I would like to, but I'll take number one, take blame for that loss and any other loss, because that's my job to get the team ready, and regardless of how much better we are or they are than us, we need to play a little bit better. We didn't line up real well on defense. That's the first cardinal rule of defense, is you got to line up properly. We're not doing that. And offensively, we didn't block the correct people. So we've continued to have a lot of work to do and continue to work and practice.
Well, how much of that work did get done this week in practice? Were you happy with the way you came out Monday through Thursday and got after it?
Yeah, I like the kids' attitudes. I'll tell you that. We're one and whatever. We won one ball game, lost the rest of them so far, and the kids are coming to practice, and we're working hard. That's all the coaches can ask. So we're pleased with that aspect.
Well, give us the scouting report here on, like I said, another undefeated team that you have to face. This time it's the Gretna Hawks.
Yeah, they got their team back from last year. They were young, a young team, and they're all back, and they look polished. They really do. Yeah, they're playing good football, I think. Just watching them on film, they look well polished on offense, meaning they're executing real well, and they're real quick on defense. They're running a 3-4 scheme, and they're real quick, and there's a reason for them being undefeated, because they're playing pretty good football.
You faced a lot of really talented backs. Josh Rosser was a quarterback. All the guys from Rustburg, all the guys from Stanton River. Is this Gretna team have anybody like that, or is it more of a team-oriented type of offensive
Well, the
attack?
quarterback, the Navy kid, and the Miller kid, the tailback, they hurt us last year. They put 3 or 4 touchdowns on the board last year against us, and they're very good, solid runners. Yeah, so it continues on. It looks like, yeah.
Well, final question for you here, Coach Jarvis. It's the first of 2 that you're going to play them this year. As a coach, is that any factor for you at all, or not in the first game anyway, right?
Yeah, I just, do we like to play each other twice? I don't think anyone likes to do that on the schedule. That was just done out of necessity because both teams didn't have a 10th game, and we had this particular date open to play each other a second time. So, it is what it is. It's just, it was out of necessity, and you have to do with what you got.
Good stuff, Coach. Best of luck tonight. It's the Hawks. It's the Colonels. Round 1 in 2017, up in about 20 minutes on 105.5 KD Country.
Whatever your truck, car, SUV needs are, Highview Motors GMC has it all, from small to tall. New to pre-owned, offering more than just GMC sales. Highview Motors GMC provides 24-hour towing, full-service body shop, state inspection, transmissions, everything in between. Highview Motors GMC, providing top-quality service since 1961.
Highview Motors GMC.
The game is brought to you by these members of the Katy Country Sports Club.
Radio Shack and Crystal Bay Pools, serving your area since 1989 for swimming pool installations, chemicals, liners, and more.
El Cerrito. Throw on a sombrero. Shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only El Cerrito can serve up.
One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista, where the gas is cheap, beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
McDonald's of Altavista, proud supporter of the Altavista Colonels. Stop by or drive through before or after the game.
The Dairy Freeze with hot dogs, burgers, fries, and of course ice cream. They're doing it right at the Freeze on Main Street, Altavista.
Old Dominion Insurance. See Kim and Gil, your Erie insurance agents on Main Street, Gretna, next to Tyler Flower Shop.
Thanks for sponsoring tonight's broadcast on 105.5 KD Country.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
We return to Gretna High School. It's high school football on 105.5 KD Country. The homecoming king and queen have been crowned here at Gretna, but let's talk some football, and then maybe we'll discuss the homecoming festivities there, Mr. Jarvis. Again, it was a loss last week for the Altavista Colonels, 41-13. If you remember the start of that game, William Campbell scored on their 5th play of the ball game. They recovered an onside kick and then scored on the very next play. So within about 90 seconds, the Colonels were down that's hard to recover from. And you heard Coach Sharness in the interview there say, I didn't really think we played particularly good after that opening stretch either. And as you heard him talk about, he took some of the blame. And good coaches will do that. You know, when their team wins, they give the kids the credit and they take the blame when their team loses. Your impressions from last week's ball game against a very good William Campbell team that's still undefeated too.
Undefeated, and I don't know many other opponents on their team that will put a blemish in that mark. Jacob Rosser. We have seen some big talent in some other teams that Altavista's played, but that young man last week and his offensive line, just what labor horses, because they were I'm looking over stats, 277 yards. I think that was the backbreaker, not only in the way that we scored and they scored, William Campbell scored, it was just run after run. That read pass option offense last week was hard to get personnel in and off for the Colonels defense. It was hard for them to get set. You'd put 5 or 6 in the box trying to stop the run. He'd throw over top. Jacob Rosser would. Then, you know, they're 2-3 deep at each position. I compared it to what the Colonels have just went through is running a gauntlet. It's like running a NFC East Division or SEC West, because every team that we played last 4 weeks have been stellar.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier tonight either against the Gretna Hawks. It's really crazy when you think about it. Every team that Altavista's played this year has been undefeated at the time the Colonels have played them. Now, game 1 against Central Lunenburg, of course, it's game 1. Everybody's undefeated. However, you throw in everybody after that, Prince Edward, Stanton River, Rustburg, William Campbell, tough opponents, and you can spin it one way and say, well, the Colonels should be battle-tested. They should be hungry, and I think they are very hungry for a win. I wouldn't use the word desperate for Altavista, but these guys are hungry for a win, and they know they've got another tough assignment in the Gretna Hawks tonight. It's not going to be an easy place to get a win.
No, it's not. And as we said earlier, this Lester Bond Field is historic. There's 5 state championships that have went through these gates, but we have 3. And I know I've talked to some of the players, talked to some of the coaches this week. Focus is not an issue. Intensity is not an issue, and everything's thrown out the window. I know Gretna is 5-0. They're road warriors. They've been on the road 3 out of the last 5 weeks. But I will tell you, throw anything out the window. As we saw against Rustburg 2 weeks ago, our Altavista Colonels didn't break and had them down 8 at the half, tied up at the end of the third quarter. And, you know, I still will say again, in a rivalry week, a heated rivalry like this, throw it all out the window. But got some big windows to throw things out, because this Gretna team tonight is pretty impressive on paper.
That's a funny way to spin that. Yeah, they are impressive. We'll talk more about them after the timeout, tell you some names that you can expect to hear from this 5-0 Gretna Hawks team, and we'll tell you more about the Altavista Colonels and what you might expect from them tonight. Maybe some changes, we'll see. It's high school football, Gretna and Altavista, set to kick off in about 11 minutes. You've got yourself a ringside seat on 105.5 KD Country.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving family since 1905.
Service you can trust and prices that work for your family. During the moments in life that matter, you'll be able to feel the difference made by family ownership. Finch and Finch, families serving families since 1905.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
If credit card processing is important to your business, I can help. I'm Ramonda Davis of First National Bank, and I'm your local e-commerce officer for merchant card and other electronic business products. Local means I live in Central Virginia. I'm ready to come see you and respond quickly to what you need. Local means I'm focused just on your business needs. For the latest in electronic payment technology and competitive pricing, contact me, Ramonda Davis. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
We're back in the press box here at Lester Bond Field. Gretna High School is the site. We're just off Route 29. It's a quick trip from Altavista. Part of the reason why these teams are big rivals, Mr. Jarvis, and they've been battling back and forth in recent years. We'll discuss some of those games in a little bit. Let's discuss the more recent history this season for the Gretna Hawks. They won their opener against Brunswick 20-14. They blew out Tunstall in week 2. They beat Nottoway 20-14. They went on the road, like you talked about, beat Radford 15-8, and another blowout against Chatham last week, 60-14. So you get 3 close games in there, 3 close wins, 2 blowout wins for the Hawks. It's a team that is another one of those ball clubs like William Campbell can beat you on the ground or in the air. You heard Coach Sharness discuss their defense is fast. They get to the football, and they hit you pretty hard when they do get there.
You know they do. And let me tell you what put the Gretna on my radar screen real quick was that road win in the 4th week against Radford, 15-8. There was a lot of things going on that night. Radford was playing for a young man who'd been diagnosed with cancer, and emotion was thrown out the window for them because they came up victorious on the road. Big guys are averaging 259 yards rushing on the game. Each game, Gretna is, and 114 in the air. So they're pretty balanced.
Tabron Mavens is the quarterback. He's a sophomore. He started last year as a freshman. It's almost national anthem time here from Gretna, so we'll put our discussion of the game on hold for a moment. We'll step aside while the band honors our country, and we'll be back with football before you know it. Kicked off less than 10 minutes away. You're going to hear it live on 105.5 KD Country.
Fun times are waiting for you at El Cazador, Altavista's oldest Mexican restaurant. Relax in comfort with daily food and drink specials, Mexican and American foods, and a children's menu too. Call for takeout or go online to elcazadorva.com. El Cazador is a proud supporter of community activities like high school sports and the Y. El Cazador is open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Stop by before or after the game.
Become a Moose is an awesome feeling. You just can't belong to a better organization.
I was born and raised in a Moose, and I'll be a Moose the rest of my life. My son is a Moose. We're 3-generation Moose loggers. That's how it is with us. I hope everybody else that can join and become a member, you need to do it. You need to see what it does for us.
Why I belong to the Moose. For friendship, for the children, and most of all for the seniors.
What are you waiting for? Stop by the Moose Family Center in Altavista to learn more about how you can be a Moose.
A short drive will save you money.
This is Greg Walker with Feller Chevrolet. Our new 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty has many customers buying from us instead of the competition. Covers any vehicle purchased up to 10 years old with less than 150,000 miles, new or used. With our 3-day money-back guarantee, you can buy with confidence. Where else can you get great prices, good selection, 3-day money-back guarantee, and a warranty that gives you 10 years of protection? Come see us. You'll be glad you did.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
National anthem wrapping up here. Nice job by the Gretna band there, and the crowd enjoyed it. Again, it is a big crowd. It's homecoming tonight here at Gretna. They did the homecoming festivities in the pregame. Normally, most people do it during halftime, but you've started to see more teams experiment with doing things in the pregame. That way you can just focus on football once things get started. Dennis, before we left, we were talking about this talented Gretna Hawk Ball Club. Tabron Mavens is the quarterback. He's thrown 5 touchdowns this year, 31 for 58 passing. Jalen Myers will be the number 1 running back for them, although we probably will see some other guys too. He's got 5 touchdowns on the ground. And it's a team, again, they can beat you in the air. They can beat you on the ground. Special teams aren't shabby either. It's going to be a tough assignment tonight for Altavista.
It's match player on player. You know, we've got our defense juggernaut back. Help me with his name, not Shaheem Parnell, but
Jonathan Montague. Yes.
Thank you, Jonathan Montague.
Probably back to full strength this week, too.
Should be. And, you know, you put a hat on a hat, I think you're going to see you saw progression in this Colonel offensive line from week 1 till to last week. I think man-on-man, good playing surface out there tonight. Speed on both sides of the ball, it seems to me. So I give a special night will come down to all three facets of the game. And we see we're very fundamental in our passing, in our offensive game, defensive staging, and we've been very solid. Colonels have on special teams. So the team with the least mistakes, the team who doesn't make those have those personal fouls, has those penalties called, will come out strong tonight. I say in Altavista.
Well, that's a great point about the mistakes. It may be the team that turns the ball over the least tonight will have the victory when things are all said and done. Our broadcast is made possible by Feller Chevrolet, now offering a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. First National Bank, helping you bring home more bacon. English's, your complete home center. Got our live broadcast from English's tomorrow morning, part of their open house and sale. We'll talk more about that as the game goes on. It's going to be a fun event. Really a chance to save a bunch of money on everything you love there, English's. Also, we like to thank Napa Auto Parts in Altavista. Find your Napa know-how on Main Street. El Cazador, Altavista's original Mexican restaurant. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer, warm in the winter, comfortable in between. PCM Industrial Services, now with mobile welding and repair service. The Altavista Office of Economic Development, we invite you to come find one of a kind. Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, a family serving families since 1905. Highview Motors, GMC, from small to tall, Highview has it all. D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling, call Donnie at 841-1580. That's 841-1580. And the Moose Family Center in Altavista. Stop by the Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road to learn how you can be a moose. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Dennis Jarvis. Katie is our sound engineer. Back at home base, we're getting set for the Altavista Colonels to kick off against the Gretna Hawks. The captains are approaching midfield to meet, and in a moment we'll find out who's going to start the game with the football, pardon me, Mr. Jarvis. Again, it's a cool night finally. I think the coolest night we've had other than this was that opener against Central Lunenburg back in August. Every other game has been fairly hot outside.
It has been. And like I said earlier, the weather's changed, but that doesn't mean the intensity's not going to be dialed up. And heat off the field tonight will be palpable. And looks like we've got our captains out there. And Aaron Close is in street clothes.
Yeah, Coach Jarvis wasn't positive if Aaron was going to be able to go today. He thought he might try and warm up and see how the injury felt, but unfortunately he's not even in pads tonight. So Aaron Close will be unavailable. Other than that, the Colonels, I believe, are healthy and at full strength. Gretna Hawks seem to be at full strength. Was talking with their head coach, Cole Simpson. He said, we haven't played the type of meat grinder schedule that Altavista has, but we've just won all the ball games. We've beaten everybody they've put in front of us, and that's all I can ask from my guys. He thinks his team is playing pretty well. Coach Jarvis feels like Gretna is playing pretty well, too, and I think both teams had a good week of preparation. Gretna Hawks won the toss, and they have elected to receive, so Altavista will kick and then get the football to start the second half.
And that's been characteristic of the last 3 weeks for us as well. If we win, it's a Coach Jarvis call. You generally start the third quarter with the ball driving. And we've done this all year. I like talking fashion, football fashion. Looks like the black and blue-clad Hawks are a Kentucky solid black versus Oregon State on the road again this week. We've got the white and orange. We've got white tops, orange pants for our Colonels, and black helmets with orange script A. So it's a pretty intense uniform night.
It is.
For us on the road.
Both teams look good. Altavista has a nice cheering contingent over there in the far bleachers that have made the trip down, and I'm sure we got quite a few folks listening back at home base as well. For the Gretna fans, it feels a little bit like old times here, being 5-0. They're fired up and hungry, ready to watch some good football. And it is a Gretna team that had some struggles last year. They were 3-7 last season, didn't make the playoffs. So they're not used to that around here. They're glad that things are back to status quo, we'll say, for Gretna football. Of course, a lot of these fans remember those days back in the mid-'90s when the Hawks weren't very good, and that's part of the reason why they can appreciate it when their team is doing so well.
Well, in Altavista, I don't think we're accustomed in Colonel Nation to being 1-4 in week 5. But I'm real pleased where we're at. I'm pleased with the momentum. I'm pleased with the intensity of our team. And once again, I'll say Altavista is ready to play. I know these Gretna Hawks are too. And I'm proud to be a part of a storied rival for the first time, standing with you tonight.
It is a very good rivalry. Last season it was a blowout, 70-27. The Altavista Colonels scored 70. It was the first time they'd broken the 70 mark in a long time, if I recall. Year before that, in 2015, it was a Gretna upset win, 26-18. 2014, Altavista won in a 38-0 game. You go back to 2013, it was Gretna by 1 point. That was the game where Altavista had a chance to win it on a late field goal. And back in 2012, the Colonels won for the first time since the 90s, 35-14. So it's been back and forth. Teams have traded victories every year dating back to 2011, Dennis. If you go by that trend, it should be Gretna this season. But you don't play the game on paper and based on trends. You got to see what happens out there on the gridiron. We'll find out in just a moment.
True that. Hat on a hat, helmet on a helmet, lace your shoes up, and hit hard, play fast, play solid football.
Man, you sound like you've sat through a pep talk in a locker room somewhere before. The Altavista Colonels have Shaheed Pinnell on to do the kicking honors. You heard Dennis mention they're in their road white jerseys with orange pants, black helmets. The Hawks are in the home black jerseys with the blue helmet. Here's return man skating down the left seam. He's going to get brought down by the kicker, Shaheed Pinnell, beyond the 50-yard line. He lands on the 48-yard line of Altavista Colonels. That was number 9, DeJuan Hicks there on the return. He was not the deep man. He fielded the ball on about the 20-yard line and found a nice seam to run through. Gretna will start in plus field position here to get this football game going on a final Friday in September.
Good assignment football there from the Gretna Hawks. Dejon followed his blocker and picked up really good field position here at the 50.
Tabron Mavens is the quarterback. Looks like he has Myers offset to his right, 2 receivers to each side, shotgun formation. Wants to throw on first down, ball in the air. The Colonels are there to break it up. That's Jonte Gord and Jacob Adams that hit the receiver around the 30. Never really even put the hands on him, just hit him high with the shoulder pads there, and they sort of crunched him in a sandwich move down that left seam.
They just threw the Gretna quarterback just threw in a double coverage, and our boys were ready. They were right on the ball. It went a little high, but we'll see what's going to happen here in the next play.
2 receivers to the right, 1 left, 2 backs in the backfield with Mavens. They give it to Myers. He's taking defenders with him as he crosses the 40-yard line. Falls forward to the 38 on the left hash mark. He's close to the first down marker. It looks like he's a half a yard short there on the second down running play. It'll bring up 3rd and short. 11:30 left to play in our English's Your Complete Home Center first quarter. It's Myers offset to Mavens right again, left hash mark, 39-yard line. Handoff play, it's enough for the first down. He'll finally get drugged down after a pickup of 3. That was Jalen Myers again, and we'll move the chains. Fresh set of downs for the Gretna Hawks. They're on the move in their first possession of the ball game.
Got a player personnel coming in for the Colonels. Number 64, DeAndre Jones, is coming out, and I couldn't see who replaced him.
Let's see if we can identify that member of the defensive line. The Colonels like to sub on that defensive line quite a bit, use some different combinations, try and keep fresh bodies out there. 1st and 10 from the left hash mark. Movement early, and the flags come out. This is probably going to be against the Gretna Hawks offense. It is. They'll back them up 5 yards, make it a 1st and 15 situation. 11:03. Still 0-0 the score here from Gretna High School. I'm Kyle. He's Dennis. Right away, Mr. Jarvis, you see that Myers is a very capable running back and a solid offensive line to move behind.
You do, and that was just, I think, an in there mistake, not knowing the snap count from number 65, I think, for Gretna went a little early. But they keep looking to the sideline. This is just like we saw last week in William Campbell. Get a call from the sideline and get the ball in play.
Running play again. Myers starts off left tackle, and he turns it down the left sideline. Had some room to run through. Good blocking on the exterior of the play. He's finally slugged down by Jacob Adams, and then also number 10, Christian Gilbert on the tackle. It's another sizable gain. Call this one another 9-yard pickup. It'll bring up 2nd and 1. Pardon me, it was a 14-yard gain because it was 1st and 15.
That's a name we called a lot last week, and Mr. Gilbert. We've seen a lot of growth of Grayson on both the offense and the defensive side as the season progresses.
2 wide receivers right, 1 left. Colonels stack the box, trying to stop the run. Gretna's going to run it anyway. Myers is inside the 20-yard line, brought down around the 19. That's enough for another first down for the Gretna Hawks. Again, they do not huddle up. They just look to the sideline. Colonels shuffling in new personnel again. Here comes Keyshawn Moon back in the game, I believe, on that defensive line. 10:03 left to play in the first quarter. 0-0 the score. Hawks have been stuck on this left hash mark for the entire drive. Mavens will fake it, keep it himself. Runs right into a good stop there from number 10, Christian Gilbert. Gilbert with a solo tackle coming from the outside right, angling back into the middle of the play. That's a 1-yard gain for Mavens and the Gretna Hawks.
That's the first time we've seen quarterback call his number and try to go off the left tackle there, as we're going from right to left on your radio dial call.
Blocking back in the backfield again. Gretna will throw. Mavens, good pocket. Now he's flushed out of it, running right, headed towards the far sideline. Escapes one tackle. He'll pull it down and run. Just runs out of bounds under his own momentum. Ooh, he slept on the track over there as he was out of bounds, and he got past the grass area. He pops up. He's okay. It's a nice running play. Good job by Mavens to find some areas to move over there. He wanted to throw, but just couldn't find anybody open. Good coverage from the Colonels, but it's a first down running play, and it'll bring up a 1st and goal from about the 10-yard line, Dennis.
Good point. Excellent coverage. Passing routes broke down, and that excellent Gretna quarterback tucked the ball, showed his way. He's one of the leading rushers on the team. He picked up that first down.
Yeah, Mavens is very composed, very, very heady, and he's just a sophomore. He'll give it to Myers this time. He's running outside left. Good blocking again. Adams is going to try and meet him at the pylon, but Myers is, officials say he's in for 6. Touchdown for Jalen Myers. Jacob Adams nearly kept him out of the end zone here on this near corner sideline, but was just a step too late. It's 6-0 Gretna Hawks. Jalen Myers with the rushing touchdown to cap off a 48-yard scoring drive.
You know, I think that's his, sixth, Mr. Myers' sixth touchdown on the season. It just showed a little bit of strength on that left side, pulled some blocking routes. The receivers were down for Gretna and did a really good job making sure he got in the end zone.
Hawks want to kick the extra point. It is number 50, Maurice Thompson, trotting out to do the honors. It looks like number 11, Travis Hogan, will hold. Clock is stopped for the extra point with 9:17 left to play in the first quarter. Here comes the snap. It's a bit high, but it gets to the block. Kick is a line drive through the uprights and good. 7-0 Gretna Hawks. They score on their opening drive. Let's see what the Colonels can do. Their football with 9:17 left to play in the first quarter when you return on 105.5 KD Country.
Mark Saturday, September 30th on your calendar for the open house at English's, your complete home center. Save on Ariat boots, Carhartt clothing, Atrium windows, Davis and Valspar paints. They'll have free popcorn, giveaways, and a live broadcast from KD Country. This open house is Saturday only from 8 until 1. Make your plans to be there and get some great deals. Habitat for Humanity on site for Blitz Build signups. English's open house is sponsored by Valspar, Davis Paint, and Atrium Windows.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Junior Jalen Myers runs it in from 10 yards out to give the Gretna Hawks a 7-0 lead in the early stages of our ball game here. Homecoming at Gretna. The Altavista Colonels will have a chance to respond on their opening possession. Then Mr. Jarvis, it was a nice balanced offensive attack there from the Gretna Hawks. Some passing, some running. They mixed it up. They let Mavens run some. Offensive line opened up a lot of holes there, too.
Sure did, but the key on that play was the Gretna quarterback tucking the ball. Saw his passing routes were down. Has the poise of a junior or sophomore. He's only a junior or senior. I was real impressed with him.
Ground ball kick. Adams went to pick it up at the 15. Now he has to go backwards and pick it up at the 11. Man, the Gretna defense is there. The ball is free. Adams and Gilbert fell on it together. I think it's Altavista football, but Jacob Adams just never secured the pigskin there. That ball was rolling around on the ground. He tried to pick it up once. He lost it. Then he got hit and lost it again. Altavista will have the ball here inside their own 10-yard line. Make it the 9-yard line where the Colonels will start this drive. So they'll have to go 91 yards to pay dirt. Not exactly the start you're looking for if you're a Colonels fan.
I think he got the lights in his eyes and he thought before he caught the ball, because there was some good. It looked like there was a good alley for Jacob to get around the Mr. Adams to get around the left side and pick up some yardage. We'll pick this back up real quick.
Colonels will operate from the shotgun formation, a wing to each side, a wideout to each side. Pennell is in the backfield with Gilbert. They hand it off to Pennell. He went off the left tackle, got bumped as he was getting to the line of scrimmage, and then dropped about a yard beyond that line of scrimmage. 9 minutes left to play in the English's, your complete home center, first quarter. Remember our live broadcast at English's tomorrow morning. They actually give Pennell more like a yard and a half, Dennis. We were close there, and the Colonels will operate on second down here from this near hash mark right in front of a big crowd at Gretna High School.
Well, you know, Shaheem's a big guy. It's going to be hard to see the down marker of the yards where he falls because he's so big.
Still in the backfield there with Christian Gilbert. They put Gord in motion. They hand it to Pennell again up the middle. Big mass of bodies, rugby style. He's going nowhere. They blow the play dead after a gain of 0. Set up 3rd and long for the Altavista Colonels. Let's see what the Gretna defense has in store here on 3rd down, and let's see what kind of a play call Mike Sharnes has in mind on this 3rd and 9 situation for the Colonels.
Last time we were in this situation was against Stanton River. See a jet sweep with Jake around the left side, and we'll get a big Colonel first down or a touchdown. Turn the afterburners on that transitory for Altavista.
Clock moving, 7:59 left to play in the first quarter. It's a 7-0 Gretna Hawk lead. First possession of the game for Altavista. Option play left. Gilbert has it, tossed it over his shoulder to Gord. Gord had to scramble back for it and pick it up. He's thrown backwards in the backfield around the 9-yard line at the numbers. That's a loss of yards, and it'll bring up 4th and long for the Colonels now, in what would seem to be a situation where they have to punt the ball away deep in their own territory here.
That was a well-designed play by the coaching staff and the Colonels. Somebody from Gretna just gets right in the alley, and we weren't able to get the toss out as well executed as we thought. It was a good play dial-up.
Pennell is going to do the honors punting-wise. He's been getting better and better at this every week. There's movement on the line of scrimmage. This is probably going against the Altavista Colonels. It is. It'll back them up 5 yards, turns it into a 4th and 15 situation. I don't think that's the problem. The problem is you're backed up inside your own 5-yard line now. A bad snap or a muffed handle on the kick could be a big problem for Altavista. Return man for the Gretna Hawks stands at the 35-yard line. That's the Altavista 35-yard line. Snap is good. Pennell gets it away. It's a high boot. It's not very deep, though. It hit a Colonel return man, Caleb Melton, at the 20-yard line. This ball is down there. Gretna's going to start with really good field position. They're on the Altavista 20-yard line, Mr. Jarvis. The Colonel's defense, a very tall order here, backed up. Hawks are already in the red zone, haven't even run a play yet.
Well, you know, we talked about it early in the game. We talked about all 3 fundamentals. And Colonel's defense is back out on the field quick. That was a quick, easy 3 and out. Great job by the Gretna defense. But let's see our guys bog down, tighten up, and hit them hard, hit them fast.
Looks like 2 receivers right. Handoff play goes to Jalen Myers. Lost him for a moment there as he went in his own line in the defense. He's brought down after a short gain. Colonels came out of there with the football, but I think Myers was already down on the ground. It was number 55, Keyshawn Moon for Altavista, that just sort of nonchalantly passed the ball back to the official. But Myers was down. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Hawks. Mavens wants to throw, rolls out, looking left. Bullet pass. It hits off the receiver's hands and then goes out of bounds. It was broken up by Jacob Adams. They were looking for number 11, Travis Hogan, on an out route here towards the left sideline. It'll bring up 3rd and 8 now for the Gretna Hawks.
That was a laser pinpoint pass by a sophomore, just a little ahead of the receiver, but got a strong arm. Very strong passer we're seeing tonight for Gretna.
We're talking about the sophomore, Tabron Mavens. He started last year as a freshman. Handoff play. They're going to Myers. Outside running sweep. Same play they scored on in the first drive. Not going to score here, and they're not even going to pick up the first down as Myers is brought down around the 15, in between the numbers and the sideline. There was a flag that came in late on the play. Let's see what the call is. Holding on the Gretna Hawks. Now the Colonels have a decision. Do you accept it and bring up 3rd and long, or do you decline it and make it about 4th and 5? What's your call here, Dennis?
You know, I'd back them up. I'd back them up, give us a little more field to work with, and give a little momentum back to Colonels on our side of the ball.
Looks like Coach Sharnes did not agree with you. He's going to decline it. Call it 4th and a long 5 here. Hawks need to get just inside the 10-yard line. Passing play. Mavens wants to throw. Good pocket over the middle. It's incomplete. Hawks fans want a flag out there on the pass interference. No flags yet, and it will be Altavista football after the incomplete pass. So a good stand there by the Colonels defense. Altavista is going to get the ball back after really what was a woeful punt. The defense ends up making some pretty nice plays.
A very good stand by the Colonel defense. I'm glad Coach Sharnes didn't listen to my bold prediction on what to do, and that's why you have a 3-time state champion coach on the other side and not a Saturday morning quarterback.
Well, there you go, right? and 4 state championships, if you count the one that Coach Jarvis and his guys won at Rustburg. All right, Altavista's offense is back out there with 5:12 left to play in the first. They trail 7-0. Colonel's putting multiple men in motion. That's definitely a penalty. Flags come out. It's going to back the Colonels up 5 yards. It'll make it 1st and 15 from their own 10-yard line. So far, the Altavista offense not showing a lot of spark and fireworks that we've seen in the past. They're struggling to move the football.
No, and, we're backed up again. The Colonels are backed up again. It looks like we had a little bit of a question mark of who was going to do what. Maybe the players didn't read the call coming in from the sideline as well as they should have.
Yeah, somebody's miscommunicated something, or the team not organized there when you have multiple men in motion. Colonels will try it again. There is a back to Gilbert's right. They'll put a man in motion. That's Adams. They fake it to Adams. They give it to Jonathan Montague. Instead, he goes down, and a flag follows him down. See if this is maybe something with a face mask or a horse collar, because it came out really right in the area that Montague landed. That makes me believe that, but we'll see. There's 5:50 left to play in the first quarter. It's a 7-0 Gretna Hawk lead. It is a face mask on Gretna. See how much yardage the Colonels gained because of it. It's going to be an automatic first down. The chains will move. It was a 15-yard penalty. Now the ball is resting on the 28-yard line. So the Colonels have picked up 15 yards because of a face mask penalty. Clock moving again with 5:40 left to play in the first quarter. They put Adams in motion again. They give it to Jonathan Montague. Running play off left tackle. Blocking wasn't there. Not much of a hole to run through. Montague is able to push his way forward for a yard.
Kyle, it looks like we might have good momentum for Altavista. We had a good defensive stand, a good call that went our way on a face mask penalty, pick up a first down. We just got to get a little momentum, keep the ball moving forward.
2nd and 8, 5:15 left to play in the first quarter. 7-0, the Gretna lead. They're in the home black jerseys. They hand it to Jacob Adams on the jet sweep play. He's not going anywhere. They've got him bottled up in the backfield really before he can get started. See how much they credit him a loss of. This will back the football up. 3rd and 12 now for the Altavista Colonels. More like 3rd and 13. It's a 5-yard loss for the Colonels offense. Faced with another 3rd down situation here, Dennis. They went with that option play last time.
We had Jaden Martin and Gretna Gretna linebacker get a little chippy there after the call. You can tell this rivalry is really heating up tonight.
You can tell the Hawks defense, just as advertised, they're quick. They swarm to the football. They tackle well. That was number 4, Jordan Berger. That was the first man on the scene to stop Adams. Gilbert lost the football faking the handoff. He got it back, but it's another loss of yards as Gilbert just sort of tries to spin forward out of the tackle. Be a loss of 1. Brings up another 4th down for the Altavista Colonels, another punting situation. Hicks will go back deep to return it for the Gretna Hawks. Let's see if Altavista can get it deep on the punt. Padnell's heels will be on the 17-yard line. Clock moving with 3:50 left to play in the English's first quarter. It's a 7-0 Gretna lead. Snap is back. Padnell gets a nice kickoff. This one longer. It lands on the 50-yard line. It takes a small Colonel bounce before it rolls backwards. It's stopped with the left hand of Jacob Adams. And the Hawks will start on their own 49-yard line. Believe it or not, this is the worst starting field position of the night for the Gretna Hawks. They sport the 7-0 lead over the Altavista Colonels.
Kyle, this is a tough Gretna defense. I was trying to look up the tackles that they've been averaging. They put a lot of pressure on their teams they've been playing with a lot of sacks. They showed us there why they're 5-0.
Get in the backfield a lot. They are hard to block. Hawks have Hogan in the slot left and Hicks as a wideout. They'll put a man in motion and give it to him on the wide receiver sweep. Here comes Jonte Gord on the tackle. He got helped out there by Jacob Adams, and also it was number 28, Jaquelin Jones, helping out on the stop. That was number 12, Jalen Myers, that they put in motion. He was out there as a wide receiver and took the sweep. It's a 2-yard gain. It makes it 2nd and 8, left hash mark. Hawks are now in Altavista territory again, where they've been really all night.
That was a wonderful stop by Jaquelin coming in and assisting on that tackle. That's quite impressive.
Myers is set up to the left of Tabor and Mavens. Ball is near left hash mark for the Gretna Hawks, moving right to left from our perspective. Now Myers switches over to the right side of the quarterback. Passing play here on second down. Looking deep down the near sideline. Pinella's in coverage. The ball was overthrown, and it is incomplete. It was a very nice running catch on the sideline here by Hicks, but he was out of bounds when he caught it. It'll bring up 3rd and 8. You see the arm of Mavens showcased there. Just threw it high, lofted it up into the late September evening, and a nice catch, but it was just not enough room on the near sideline.
Let's give credit to Shaheen, who's pace by pace with the Gretna receiver. It wouldn't, if it hadn't been thrown out of bounds, he was stride for stride. It would have been interesting to see him break that up.
Yeah, he forced the 6'3" junior out of bounds. Mavens wants to throw, rolling out right, got a man open on the far sideline, slid down there. No tackle by the Altavista Colonels, but the receiver dropped to the knee. I think
that was Travis Hoehne, number 11 from Gretna.
I believe you are correct. Hogan with a nice route. He was open. Just kept going a little too fast and lost the footing over there. It is a first down for the Hawks, 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. On the move again here in their 3rd possession of the game. They hand it to Myers. He's got a defender on his back as he's charging through the middle. Brought down after a short gain there. Good job by the Altavista defensive line to grab a hold of him and not let go. Myers dragged Tyler Gord with him for a while.
You know, on that last play, Travis Hoehne, that's one of the favorite receivers for this Gretna aerial assault they have.
Hogan is a sure-handed guy. They like to put him in the slot, kind of that Wes Welker type of mode there. Oh, here's a nice play by Jacob Adams to get into backfield and make a tackle for a loss. Pardon me, it's Jonathan Montague with the big hit. That's a 5-yard loss. Johnny on the spot there. He missed a couple games and a nice tackle to bring up 3rd and 14 for the Gretna Hawks. Big-time stop there from the senior, Jonathan Montague.
Heart and soul of this team on defense, heart and soul as a leader in the student body out here. And you were right, Johnny on the spot. He's back where we saw him just like he was 2 weeks ago.
Blitz from that linebacker spot. Let's see what Johnny does this time, if he goes in coverage or blitzes. Maybe a passing play here for the Hawks. They put a man in motion. Mavens wants to throw down near sideline again. Throw wobbles. Hicks jumps forward and he catches at the 5-yard line. Adams was there with great coverage, and he'll even get up and pat Hicks on the helmet and say, nice catch, buddy. That was a good grab from Hicks on a pass that lost the spiral about midway through, just sort of wobbled. Hawks are inside the 5-yard line again after a big pass and catch from Tabor Mavens to DeJuan Hicks.
And once again, our defense, Jacob was stride for stride for the receiver. It's a little bit like basketball. Who was going to get the rebound coming off the rim there?
1:15 left to play in the first quarter. It's a 7-0 Gretna Hawk lead. They're looking to add to it. Snap is low. Mavens has to dive for it. Tyler Gord was just a step too late. He was nearly at the football there before Mavens picked it up. It's a loss of 5 for the Gretna Hawks. It'll set up 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it's the first mistake we've seen from this Gretna offensive line. That was a bit low on the from the center back to the quarterback.
See how the rest of the snaps are in this next sequence here. Montague crowding that line of scrimmage again, trying to bust through there. Maven's going to run it. He's going to outrun the defense to the right. Now turns it up. Oh, got hit hard just beyond the line of scrimmage at the 8-yard line. It's a 1 or 2 yard gain. Guess who? Jonathan Montague saying hello to Mavens there with a hard hit down near the right sideline.
Mr. Montague, once again, that's why you call him Johnny on the spot.
Timeout.
Big hits.
I'm sorry. No, you're good. Timeout on the field. Gretna Hawks are going to take it. We'll take it too. Hawks lead 7-0 over the Altavista Colonels. Just 25 seconds left to play in the first quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Napa know-how. Getting the best usually costs a pretty penny. But when it comes to getting one of the best motor oils, your pennies don't have to be pretty at all. Because Valvoline Full Synthetic Motor Oil is only $5.59 a quart. So treat yourself to Valvoline Full Synthetic, now just $5.59. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 9/30/17.
Napa Auto Parts, Main Street, Altavista, across from Feller Chevrolet.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
We're back here from Gretna High School. It's a 7-0 Gretna Hawk lead. 33 seconds left to play in the first quarter. They added some time on the clock, pardon me. Our wonderful clock operator, Mr. Shields, goes above and beyond the call of duty. Mabins wants to throw here, looking in the end zone. It's caught right at the goal line. It is a touchdown for the Gretna Hawks. It's Travis Hoehne this time, in for 6 on the pass from Tabron Mabins. Touchdown Hawks. They lead 13-0. Extra point on the way. Boy, the last couple drives, Dennis, the Altavista defense was looking more and more solid, but there you see the footwork first from Mabins and then the good, accurate arm on the pass to the end zone.
True, and they come right back out after a timeout. Gretna does, catches us looking for 5-6 in the box, rolls the quarterback out to the left, and gets one of their favorite receivers in the corner of the end zone. A very solid effort by Gretna's offense on that drive. Travis
Hoehne on the touchdown catch there. Extra point on the way here. It's Maurice Thompson again. This time the kick is good. 14-0. The Gretna Hawks lead. They score again. Altavista football with just under 30 seconds left to play in the first quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Thinking of starting a business or expanding your company? Think about choosing Altavista as your location to invest and grow. Altavista offers low utility cost, broadband internet, US 29 access, and an attractive quality of life. You'll score big just like the Colonels when you invest in Altavista. Huddle up with the Altavista Office of Economic Development at Altavista Town Hall.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
The Gretna Hawks come into the ball game tonight undefeated at 5-0. Dennis, we're starting to see why. Tabron Mabins hooks up from 9 yards out on the touchdown pass to Travis Hoehne. You mentioned the Gretna Hawks take the time out there. Cole Simpson maybe just wanted to review the play with the guys a little bit, or maybe he wanted some time to decide on the play, but he picked a good one, and the Hawks executed.
Well, you made a very astute observation. That was the worst field position starting for the Hawks tonight. Went down and drove, pass, run, caught us looking for a run on 1st and goal, and they're up 14-0.
Yeah, officially it's a 51-yard scoring drive. Ball bounces in Adams' hands. He fields middle of the field at the 18-yard line. Sidesteps the first tackler. Now he's going the wrong direction, swarmed by 4 or 5 black jerseys. Brought down at the 29-yard line. Looks like they'll give him forward progress to maybe the 30 or the 31. Colonels will take over and scrimmage on this third possession of the game with 22 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
Kyle, this is the best starting field position for the Colonels tonight. We're going left to right for individuals back home on the radio dial. So let's dial it up, play some solid football, good ball control. Let's get a touchdown on this drive.
Certainly some first downs would be good for the Colonels' confidence in their psyche here. They look to the far left sideline to get the play signaled in. The quarterback is Chris Gilbert, number 10. He's got Shaheem Pennell to his right, a wing back to each side. Gilbert wants to throw, connects with Jacob Adams. He is hit exactly as he's catching the football and brought down at the 30-yard line. It may have been a loss of 1 or 2. That looked like number 19, Sea Life Pennell, another junior there. Pennell hit Adams really in legs as Adams was catching the ball. We're down to 1 second left, and the Colonels are not going to run another play here. First quarter has come to a conclusion. It's 14-0 Gretna on top. Colonels will have a second down situation on the way when you return. It's high school football on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial of Altavista offers mobile welding and repair services, fully equipped service trucks, certified craftsmen, and quick response to satisfy your needs. Contact PCM Industrial at powerconstruction.com. PCM Industrial is a fully insured Class A licensed contractor, OSHA and MSHA compliant. PCM Industrial Services of Altavista wishes Coach Sharness and the Altavista Colonels football team good luck in another winning season. Go Colonels!
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Gretna 14, Altavista 0. It's Altavista football. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He is Dennis Jarvis. We're having fun talking to you tonight from Gretna High School. Great environment for football here, Mr. Jarvis. We're up in the press box. You can tell everybody's having fun outside there, and certainly the Hawks fans like the way things are going a bit more, but the Colonels not out of this thing just yet. What do you think Altavista needs to do to really make a statement here and get back in it?
I think a long, consistent drive, pick up 2 or 3 first downs here back to back, get their head back in the game. We're not really playing that level of intensity we saw in the first couple of weeks. Not putting the Colonels down, but this is a high-intensity game, and they seem a little listless so far.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe starstruck is the word. I don't know what the word is for Altavista right now. We'll see if the energy level can pick up. They handed it off to Shaheen Pinnell. They bounced into each other. Pardon me. He bounced into his own teammate, Jacob Adams, there. Adams was, I believe, supposed to pull through and block for Pinnell, and they actually bumped into each other. That messed the play up a bit, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 12 situation for the Altavista offense, now working right to left in this English's Your Complete Home Center second quarter.
Kyle, I think that was number 16, Luke Davis, a senior, that assisted in on the tackle for the Gretna Hawks.
One of the few seniors the Hawks have. They are a young ball club. And a lot of these guys started last year as freshmen and sophomore. Gilbert fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, plows ahead, hard running there. He's hit at about the 32. He falls forward for an extra yard. It's not nearly enough for a first down, but nice to see Gilbert take control there and try and run through a tackler.
You just mentioned in the youth contingent that is the Gretna Hawks, that was number 8, Dalen Miller, a 5'10", 175-pound sophomore on that stop.
Athletic defense there for the Gretna Hawks. It'll bring up a 4th and 9 situation for the Colonels. They'll punt it away. Pinnell on to do the honors again. Has to retrieve a high snap. Does get it away. It's a really good kick, actually. Line drive that'll bounce and be tough to field. Hicks wanted to grab it, but thought better of it. It'll get stopped on the 26-yard line by a converging group of Colonels. Colonels coverage team, a good job there. Pinnell, a great job just to get that punt away. The rush was heavy. The snap was not very good, but he went up for it and pulled it down and then got it off the right foot.
You know, Kyle, you talked about the Gretna Hawks real quick. Only 6 seniors, 11 juniors, and 15 sophomores. This is a kind of a boys to men type of scenario, one of those old boy bands we've talked about in the past.
Great band.
Very young. Team's very young, but playing well above their age.
Here's one of those sophomores right here. Mavens hands off to a junior, Jalen Myers. Colonels get to him there at around the line of scrimmage, pardon me. That was Christian Gilbert, Jonathan Montague, and then also number 55, Keyshawn Moon. We've called Moon's number a few times for the Colonels, Dennis. He's putting together a pretty good game. It's still a pickup of 2.5 or 3 yards for the Hawks on first down.
You know, for a youth-oriented team at Altavista, we are calling a lot of names the last 3 weeks that we wouldn't call in week 1 and week 2. Quite impressed with the growth of our Colonels on both sides of the ball so far this year.
4th possession for the Gretna Hawks. They put Hicks in motion. They fake it to him. Maven's going to keep it himself. He's got room to run down this right seam. Now he angles out to the sideline. He's across the 50. Now the 40. Going to get hit by Jonte Gord at around the 23-yard line. He pushed Mavens out. Good job by Gord to recover. Probably prevented a touchdown, but it's a big gainer on second down for the Gretna Hawks. Their quarterback, Tabor Mavens, off to the races.
Off to the races, but thank heavens for Jonte Gord. Knocked him out, got him, but it's really a shoestring tackle right here to our right-hand side. And we've got a view of us. We're going to have to look over the press box here to see how our Colonel defense will stop it this time.
Hawks are going left to right. Here's the handoff. This looks like Hicks on the carry this time. It might have been. Oh, let's find out who gets off that pile there, Mr. Briggs. The ball carrier.
You're name calling everybody Mr. Briggs. That was Dalen Miller.
Oh, sorry.
I wanted to say. That's
Mr.
okay.
Jarvis.
That's
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Old habits die hard. 2nd and short coming up. Maven's going to keep it himself. Stutter steps, angles back in left to right towards the middle of the field. Meets resistance, brought down. It's a first down. Maven stopped at the 10-yard line. Looks like it's going to be another first and goal situation for the Gretna Hawks from the Altavista 10.
You know, this young offensive line for Gretna, too, digs in these types of situations and picks up another first down for their team.
Empty backfield again. It looks like the Hawks are going to employ 2 receivers to each side, and then a blocking back is up behind the right guard, in between right guard and right tackle. Colonel's defense needs to buckle down here. Put a man in motion. Maven's going to keep it himself. Spin move to line of scrimmage. Cuts back into the end zone for 6. Mavens has thrown a touchdown. He's now run a touchdown. This one from 10 yards out. The Hawks are up 20-0. Extra point on the way for Gretna.
Solid run by that Gretna quarterback. Solid line play by the Gretna offensive line as well, Kyle.
They empty out the backfield. They leave the blocking back in there to help lead Mabins through the hole. He made a nice little spin move there when he first felt some contact. That really freed him up, and he had some open space. It's number 50, Maurice Thompson again to kick. He's made the first two. Maybe the Colonels can block an extra point here and get some positive momentum going somehow. Here comes the snap. It's a little low, but it gets to the block. This time the kick is very high. Looked like he pulled it left. He did. He pulled it too much and missed it. Lead will stay 20-0 for the Gretna Hawks. Altavista football, 9:05 left to play in the half on 105.5 KD Country.
Your home is your biggest investment. It must be handled properly. Let the professionals at DL Bryant Heating and Cooling handle your home issues. Donnie and his trained professional staff are ready at 434-841-1580. They can make sure your home or business HVA system is ready. Ready for the rest of the summer and ready for the upcoming fall and winter. Call DL Bryant Heating and Cooling at 434-841-1580. That's 841-1580. DL Bryant is ready to protect your investment.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Gretna Hawks lead the Altavista Colonels 20-0. Favoring Mabins with the 10-yard rushing touchdown to go along with a passing touchdown to Travis Hogan. Jalen Myers has the other touchdown for the Gretna Hawks. For the Altavista Colonels, not much on their offensive side, Dennis. 3 punts so far. I really think the Colonels' offense could use something positive here if they want a chance to stay in this game.
Put some 98 or 100 octane in the bus and let Hoehne run through this time.
It's a low kick. Pinnell is going to field it. Bounced up high. He catches on about the 15-yard line. A step inside the left sideline. Angles back to the middle. Tripped up around the 19-yard line. Falls down past the 20. It was Jordan Berger, number 4 for the Gretna Hawks, that will get credit for the tackle. Got Pinnell around the ankles and the shoestrings and was able to drop it.
Good point. That's what I was getting ready to say. They've been watching the game tape Gretna has because they knew the bus was coming through, the freight train, whatever we want to call Hoehne, and they tackled him low, wrapped him up. He almost broke that for an additional 5 or 10 yards. See some maybe get momentum swing back. They missed that extra point Gretna did. If we just move this ball, pick up some first downs, get some consistency on offense, score, Altavista's right back in the game.
Officials spot the ball on the 33-yard line, near left hash mark. Colonels moving right to left in their road white jerseys with the orange pants. Trying to get their offensive formation set here. They've got Adams split out to the left. Jonte Gord is a wingback to the left. Looks like Adams in the backfield with Chris Gilbert, the quarterback. Whistles blow, and Altavista took too much time. A delay of game penalty. Another one of those penalties that's really sort of uncharacteristic for Altavista, but we saw it some last week, and we're seeing it some this week. It sets up 1st and 15 now for Altavista.
You know, you called it last week. We're one of the few schools that has a play clock, and without that, I think it's hard for the team. We don't have one here at Gretna. I think it's hard for the team to kind of know how much time they got left to snap the ball.
It's something you get used to for sure. Left hash mark, 1st down and 15 to go. Gilbert fakes the run, wants to pass. Good blocking. Now he's going to take off and run for it. He's across the 30, hit hard up high around the shoulder pads and the helmet. Dropped at the original line of scrimmage. So give Gilbert credit for a 5-yard rushing play. Second quarter is presented by English's, your complete home center. Come say hi to us tomorrow at the English's open house and sale. Brands you love will be on sale. Carhartt clothing, Ariat boots, Davis paint, and more. Dennis Jarvis, you already said you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there. And big hit by Corbin Witcher, another sophomore for Gretna on that hard hit there.
It seems like everybody is a sophomore or a junior. Option play. Gilbert shakes the first tackle, spins out of the next. He's across the 40, stiff arm at the 45, run out of bounds near the Gretna bench by number 8, Dalen Miller. But how about the hard running from Chris Gilbert? First, the strength to run out of one tackle, and then the dance move to spin away from 2 other tacklers.
You know, we've been calling Dancing with the Stars all year thus far. That was a Tennessee Waltz sachet real quick, and big stiff arm on another sophomore for Gretna, and DeAndre Miller. So positive.
First down for the Altavista Colonels. Only need to pick up about 4 yards to be in Gretna territory. Here's the pass. It's high to Jacob Adams. He reaches up and catches on the other 48-yard line. The pass floated. That allowed the defense to converge, but give Adams a lot of credit for catching the ball and holding on. It only looks like a 5-yard gain, but it was hard fought, well earned. maybe a 6-yard gain. Now 2nd and 4 for the Colonels. They're in Gretna territory for the first time on the Hawk 47-yard line.
We talked real quickly. We talked about picking up some consistency, getting some first downs, start moving the ball, give the defense a time to rest. It looks like the Colonels are finding a good dance step here or there to keep the ball moving.
Gilbert has the offense set and ready to go. Hawks not showing blitz, 2 deep safeties. Cornerbacks giving about 7 yards. They hand it to Jonathan Montague, who's freshly entered into the game, and that's a 1 or 1.5 yard pickup. Clock moving, 7:20 left to play. The English is your complete home center. Second quarter, it's a 20-0 Gretna lead, but the Altavista Colonels putting together their best offensive drive of the night thus far.
You know, it's one of the horses in the stable. We haven't got the call on offense for about 3 weeks. It's good to see number 3 back in our Colonel backfield this week, Kyle.
Number 3 is the senior, Jonathan Montague. He'll stay in there. He's set up off the right hip and behind the quarterback, Gilbert. Gilbert calls for the snap on 3rd down. Hands to Montague. Montague hit as he's getting the handoff. Great penetration in the Altavista backfield.
Looks like number 30 for Gretna in on the stop, Kyle.
It's Bryant Davis. Davis really, nice job getting low, skirting through the Altavista O-line and slowing down Jonathan Montague so the teammates could get to him. 4th down for the Colonels. They look like they're going for it. Can't blame them, down 20-0, and they're on the Gretna side of the field. It's 4th and 4. Altavista needs to get to the Hawk 43-yard line.
Kyle, we're sending wide receiver, one to the left, one to the right, and we got, looks like a timeout for Altavista. I'm going to talk what we're going to do here.
They'll take a timeout. We'll take the timeout as well. 6:17 left to play in the half. Gretna on top 20-0. 4th down on the way for the Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1909, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
It'll be 4th and 4 for the Altavista Colonels. They're trailing 20-0 to the Gretna Hawks. And Dennis, at this point, Colonels really kind of have to roll the dice right now. We're still in the first half, but not going to get too many more chances like this.
Good analogy, rolling the dice. You got a Tennessee riverboat gambler, and our coach Jarvis. We're going to see something pretty proactive here.
Pennell is set up a little bit deeper. That could be a tip for the punt. Yeah, they're going to snap it to Pennell. He's going to punt it away. Hawks really prepared for it. They sent one of those safeties back very deep. It'll bounce on the far right sideline and then skirt out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So the Colonels making it appear that they were going to go for the 4th down. They snap it to Pennell, who's set up deeper. He's the punt anyway. He gets off a very good punt. Might be a little bit frustrating for Colonel fans. They probably wanted to see Altavista go for it there, down 20-0. But Mike Sharnis wants to give his defense some room to operate, and we'll see if this move pays off for the Colonels.
Good call. I think good call by the defense, good call by the coaching staff. We just need to walk solid and tackle low, tackle high, but wrap up and follow through.
Turnover wouldn't be bad for Altavista's defense either. It's a running play. Myers is bottled up. Good job by the Colonel defense to throw him back with some force, too. That was Jonathan Montague that really ended up dumping Myers on the ground, but had a lot of help. Keyshawn Moon, also Chris Gilbert, also number 21, Tyler Gord, in on the stop. They give him progress for about a half a yard.
Thank you for pointing out Mr. Moon. Once again, playing a little harder, a little faster tonight. It's the second time we've called his number.
Yep, set up at the left defensive end spot. Rushing here on a passing play. Mavens throwing down near sideline. Leaping for the ball is Pennell, and he's able to break it up. They were looking for number 15, Malik Farmer, here on this near right sideline. Pennell matched him stride for stride. Farmer did the best that he could, and Pennell was just a few inches higher to knock it away.
Speed on speed, and speed won. A little quacker, a little quicker, a little more elusive. Shaheem's right on the spot as usual. Broke the pass up. Very impressive.
5:35 left to play in the half. Gretna leading 20-0. 3rd and a long 9 coming up for the Gretna Hawks. Wonder if they'll go to the air again. All the offense looking at the wristbands. Now Mavens has the O-line down, set, ready to go. Babins will run it himself. Quarterback keeper. Oh, Jonathan Montague got him in the hips and brought him down. Johnny Montague starting to flex his muscles a bit. And so the punting move on 4th down for the Colonels paid off as the defense is going to force the first Gretna punt of the ball game here on 4th and 7.
Kyle, we talked about Colonel's offense needed to get in gear, find some first downs, find the momentum. We did. Same thing happened on this drive. We pinned them back deep, good punt. Our defense stepped up solid. Let's get the ball back and continue that offensive momentum, pick up some first downs.
Gilbert and Adams go back deep to return for the Altavista Colonels. They're still on this side of the 50-yard line, on the Gretna side, that is. The Colonel rush was pretty good. They were close to getting to the ball. Gilbert catches on the 47-yard line, hit hard almost as he's catching the football, and brought down on the 44-yard line. Colonels will operate their left hash mark with 4:49 left to play in the Englishes, your complete home center, second quarter. A 20-0 Gretna lead, but maybe the Colonels with a bit of momentum, a 3-and-out stop, and they've got great field position to start this 5th drive of the ball game.
Best field position for the Colonels offense tonight. We're watching our young men look over the sideline for the play from Coach Sharnes, and I'm thinking 6. What do you think?
Well, it's going to be tough to come by with this Gretna defense, but I think Altavista's offense is starting to make some adjustments, starting to find some holes and some seams to attack that offense. We'll see. Handoff play to Pinnell. Pinnell going to try and high step through the defensive line. He's able to pick up 1 or 2 before he's brought down. Number 74 there for the Gretna Hawks. Lamontavius Jefferson, another big sophomore, brought him down.
And assistant on tackle also 16, Luke Davis for Gretna.
2nd and 8 coming up, maybe 2nd and a long 7, if you will. Colonels moving right to left. Altavista has not won a ball game in the month of September, if you can believe that. We'll have to check the stats and see when the last time that happened was. They fake to Pinnell. Gilbert's going to keep it. Now he runs behind Pinnell. Another spin move for Chris Gilbert. Hit hard in the middle of the field after a pickup of 4. He's inside the 40-yard line now. Probably he'll place this ball on the 36 or 37-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the Altavista Colonels. 4 minutes left to play in the half. Gretna leads 20-0. Colonels offense on the move.
Kyle, we must be playing new kids on the block tonight with these Gretna Hawks. That was a sophomore Corlin Witcher on the tackle.
You've had a boys to men reference, now a new kids on the block reference. Who are you going to bust out next? Who's coming out for the encore? Here comes the 3rd down play for the Colonels. They'll hand off to Pinnell up the middle, working his way hard through the defense. It's a 1st down. He didn't get much beyond that 1st down pylon, but he got enough. It'll move the chains. 3:32 left to play. The clock stops for a moment. It'll start up again. Colonels, wow, if they could get some points here in the waning seconds of the half, Dennis, then they get the ball to start the second half. That could be a good formula for a comeback.
Look who's in the backfield for Altavista.
Gilbert wants to throw. Far sideline, complete to Jacob Adams. He's hit as he catches again. Adams has caught 3 or 4 balls tonight, but the Gretna defense is on him seemingly as it's getting on his receiver gloves there, and Adams brought down after a gain of 1.
We had Jonathan Montague back in on the offensive side for the Colonels, too. Figured it was going to be a handoff to him, but good call. Our offensive line is playing really solid. It's opening up the passes, opening up the run, and runs opening up the pass at the same time for us on this drive.
The O-line does seem to be playing better here, getting off the ball better. Gilbert's going to roll to his left. Left-handed passer's got some time. Now he has to get rid of it. Was looking for Gord. Gord bumped as he was going across the route. Number 2, DeAndre Miller in coverage for the Gretna Hawks. Go figure, he's another sophomore for these Hawks, and he was covering Gord tightly. It'll bring up 3rd and 9 for the Colonels now. Clock stops on the incomplete pass. 2:44 left to play in the half.
As we talked about, the offensive line play for Altavista. Getting stronger, getting better. Allowed Mr. Gilbert to get out and roll out to his left. Pass was a little low. He had a Gretna defender right on him, so he didn't want to have a miscue or an interception. I'm proud of him getting the ball away as quickly as he did.
Altavista trailing 20-0 at the moment, but putting together a good drive here in the late stages of the second quarter. Gilbert has receivers to each side, 1 to each, 2 wingbacks out there as well. He wants to pass, good protection, good pocket to throw from. Gilbert with a lot of time, heaving deep into the end zone. Adams battling for it, asking for a flag from the official. He is not going to get it. They'll just rule it an incomplete pass. Good coverage out there by the Hawks. It was a well-thrown ball. Adams just unable to break free and go up and catch it.
You know, in a heated rivalry game, you might see tempers get a little testy, but Jacob just gave that Gretna safety who was with him stride for stride, a hand of congratulations on a good play. I'm pleased with our Colonels for doing that.
Sportsmanship has been really good all year. 4th and 9 coming up. Colonels are going to need to be really good on offense here to keep this drive going. 2:37 left to play in the half. It's a 20-0 Gretna Hawk lead. It's Hawks homecoming here. They're clad in the all-black home jerseys. Here comes the snap. Gilbert wants to throw again. Another good pocket. Steps up, looking over the middle. Pass is tipped, and it goes incomplete. And now a flag will come out. This time, Adams got hit, really dropped at the 25-yard line. I think it's going to be pass interference.
I agree with you.
We'll see what the official call is. I feel like I'm about 99% sure that's going to be the call, but you never know. It's always that 1% in there. Official's going to walk to the middle of the field here and give us a signal. It is. It's pass interference on the Gretna Hawks defense. That'll give Altavista a first down. Colonels move the chains on the penalty, and they keep the drive alive there. It was a well-thrown ball from Gilbert, and you had the feeling that Adams didn't end up on the ground there under his own momentum, right?
Well, it's a good play call so far. 4th and 9, drop back, wheel it out. I'm pleased with the momentum we've got on the play selection.
Ball's on the 16-yard line. The hand to Shaheem Pinelli, who's nearly breaking free. Pulled down outside the right hash mark after a loss of, let's see, they're just going to say it's no gain. Clock moving with 2:18 left to play in the half. 20-0, the Gretna Hawks lead. 2nd and 10 on the way for the Colonels from that far right hash mark.
Getting ready to say we're putting Mr. Adams out to the left side. I'm going to take number 23 for our Colonels out to the right slot. Here on the 2nd down, we go for a pass or pick up some positive yards on the run.
They'll put Jaquelin Jones in motion over here to the left as well. He stops, waiting for the ball to be snapped. Gilbert accepts the chest-high snap, wants to throw, got hit hard from behind. The ball is free, and the Hawks dive on it. I think Gretna has this ball at the 22-yard line. Yes, it'll be Gretna Hawks football there after Chris Gilbert hit as he was releasing the football. You could argue that he was in the act of passing, but I think it was prior to that, Dennis. The referees got that call right, and Gretna beneficiary of an Altavista fumble.
I was getting ready to say, was Christian's arm going for it? I couldn't see from this vantage point, but, that's uncharacteristic. Colonels have not turned the ball over very frequently this season, and what a great drive stalled on an inerrant play like that.
First turnover of the game for either ball club, unless you count the Gretna turnover on downs earlier. There's Mabins, hard running, pushing his way through the middle. Good chunk of yards gained there on first down. Looked like the Hawks might be ready to take this game to halftime, but I think Coach Cole Simpson wouldn't mind getting another score here. 94 seconds left to play in the half. Hawks have one timeout at their disposal. Mabins is set, ready to go. Hurry-up mode now for the Gretna offense. They hand it off to Myers. Myers trying to work off the left tackle, meets some stiff resistance there from a bunch of Colonel defenders. That'll be little to no gain for the Hawks. Clock moving with 1:18 left to play in the half.
It's a good call you had, Kyle. The Gretna want to score. They know they're deep in their backfield, and Colonels get the ball back. You wouldn't want to make a mistake and let Altavista pick up an easy touchdown here.
Football is in Hawk territory on their own 32-yard line. Now Coach Cole Simpson is telling his offense to wait. He's letting the play clock run down just a little bit. Mabins will get ready for the snap. It's chest high, floats to him a bit. He wants to run up the middle behind right guard. Hit hard. Again, not much of a gain there. Jaquelin Jones helped out with the defensive line on the stop. Looked like it was Daniel Triplett, first man that beat him to the spot. It actually ends up being a decent gain, called a 4-yard pickup. Officials gave Mabins a pretty good spot there. 3rd and 5 on the way for the Hawks. Clock is under 28 seconds now. Coach Cole Simpson now looks like he wants to run this clock down a bit and not give the Colonels offense any time in case the Hawks don't pick up the first down. Montague blitzing, couldn't get to Mabins on the quarterback keeper. Mabins turns it up right sideline. Thrown forward at the 49-yard line. That is a first down pickup. Jonte Gord on the stop along with Jaden Gilbert helping out on the tackle.
Jonte Gord has good vision. We had 5 men in the box. Altavista did. He saw that, took the ball down, cut up the right side, picked up 5-7 extra yards he shouldn't have had. This young sophomore, one of those new kids on the block that Gretna has, I had the spirit and the vision to keep the ball and drop his shoulder and pick up some more yards.
Timeout on the field. Gretna Hawks take it. We'll take it too. They lead 20-0. 11 seconds left to play in the half on 105.5 KD Country.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in. Bring the family. See your friends at Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Back to Lester Bond Field here at Gretna High School, and what's probably going to be the last play of the half for the Gretna Hawks. They've got a first down. Ball is just on the left side of the 50-yard line. There's 11 seconds left to play in the half. Suppose an incomplete pass, and they'd get another play out of this. Mavens fakes the pass, wants to run. Has some room on the right sideline. Now the Colonels are there to bottle them up. Couple Altavista defenders wiping at the football, trying to strip it away. Jonathan Montague, Daniel Triplett, Tyler Gord on the tackle, and that will bring an end to the first half. It's Gretna 20, Altavista 0. The Tuscan Italian Grill halftime show is on the way right after this quick timeout. It's high school football on 105.5 KD Country.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving family since 1905.
Service you can trust and prices that work for your family. During the moments in life that matter, you'll be able to feel the difference made by family ownership. Finch and Finch, families serving families since 1905.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving family since 1905.
When you need an important business loan, you want to deal with a decision maker who will respond quickly. I'm Penny Wallace with local First National Bank at our airport branch. I'm focused on business customers, and we have a streamlined process to help you with any loan need. I can offer various business loans for real estate, new equipment, and credit lines. So for better business banking, think of us first. That's local First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, on the ready to keep you comfortable year-round. Locally owned and operated, just a call away, with over 20 years experience. Licensed and bonded. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, specializing in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical, any season, anytime. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Give them a call today. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, Gretna.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
To return to the press box here at Gretna High School, it's Hawks 20, Altavista Colonels 0. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He is Dennis Jarvis, and we hope Mr. and Mrs. Football fan are having a good time here on this Friday night. Finally feels like football weather out there, Dennis, even a little bit cooler this weekend. Things not feeling good for the Altavista Colonels, but remember, the Hawks scored on 3 out of their first 4 possessions. So for Altavista to be down 20-0, maybe not such a bad thing for the Colonels right now, and maybe a chance to get back in this game in the third quarter.
Well, you know, we've called a lot of people's names throughout the season, and Tabron Mavens is fairly impressive. He's got a solid offensive line in front of him, and for a sophomore, this young man has great field vision that we really haven't seen all year because last week, Mr. Rosser was a senior. You expect that from a signal caller like that, but not out of a young man like this, and they're fairly well balanced. Take nothing away from Altavista because this is an offense that's running, this is an offense that's passing. We talked about that early in the pregame, 114 in the air coming for Gretna, average 259 on the ground, and they're just big and fast and very young.
They are young. They are very young. We're going to be talking about that, I think, as the night goes on. It's a bunch of sophomores and juniors on the field for the Gretna Hawks. So Hawk fans have a lot to look forward to this season, next season, and perhaps even beyond that. It's 20-0 at the moment. The Gretna Hawks lead the Altavista Colonels. It's the Tuscan Italian Grill halftime show. The Tuscan Italian Grill. Oh, in the Aaron Shopping Center in Altavista. Mr. Jarvis, you and I could talk about food all night, but let's talk about food for just a moment. $6.99 lunch buffet, all you can eat pizza, pasta, salad, dessert at the Tuscan. Does it get any better than that? That's the question I put to you.
No, it doesn't. In Rotary, we were there again this week. I decided to roll off the menu. I had a blackened chicken spinach salad. And the balsamic vinaigrette, very good. Service, again, really good. And I think we were going to go up there the other day, and I got sidebarred with a project coming in for us and didn't get to go. But I think you were up there once this week as well, if I remember right.
Yeah, we got up there, and it's you're right. You bring up ordering off the menu. I mean, that blackened chicken salad you talked about, gosh, my mouth's starting to water right here.
Well, one of our guys in Rotary, he decided to order a shrimp po' boy. It was so big, he said his wife put him in the doghouse, so he took half of it home for dinner. That's how big it was. So, and his name eludes me, but our Rotary Club Spike's going every Tuesday, and they're all for friendly lights, great service. They have a wonderful setting there. The ambiance is always good. And I just love the folks that run that place. I love the folks that work for them. And they're always Altavista Colonel proud.
We're talking about the Tuscan Italian Grill in Alta, just off Route 29. And it is a great place for lunch, the $6.99 lunch buffet. Order off the menu as well. And don't forget dinner. We'll talk more about them. We'll get some scores from some other area games, things that are happening tonight, some big games out there. We're glad you're tuned in to us, whether you're just stopping by for a moment or you've been listening to the entire broadcast. We thank you so much for that. It's Gretna 20, Altavista 0. More Tuscan Italian Grill halftime show on the way. 105.5 KD Country.
Fun times are waiting for you at El Cazador, Altavista's oldest Mexican restaurant. Relax in comfort with daily food and drink specials, Mexican and American foods, and a children's menu too. Call for takeout or go online to elcazadorva.com. El Cazador is a proud supporter of community activities like high school sports and the Y. El Cazador is open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Stop by before or after the game.
The game is brought to you by these members of the KD Country Sports Club.
Radio Shack and Crystal Bay Pools, serving your area since 1989 for swimming pool installations, chemicals, liners, and more.
El Cerrito. Throw on a sombrero, shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only El Cerrito can serve up.
One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista, where the gas is cheap, beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
McDonald's of Altavista, proud supporter of the Altavista Colonels. Stop by or drive through before or after the game.
The Dairy Freeze with hot dogs, burgers, fries, and
0. It's the Tuscan Italian Grill halftime show. Dennis and I will come back after a timeout. We'll discuss more about the Tuscan Italian Grill, maybe some more score updates, and we'll figure out what these two teams can do here at halftime and maybe make an adjustment or two. At the moment, it's Gretna 20, Altavista 0. It's award-winning high school sports coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
To become a Moose is an awesome feeling. You just can't belong to a better organization.
I was born and raised in a Moose, and I'll be a Moose the rest of my life. My son is a Moose. We're 3-generation Moose loggers. That's how it is with us. I hope everybody else that can join and become a member, you need to do it. You need to see what it does for us.
Why I belong to the Moose. For friendship, for the children, and most of all for the seniors.
What are you waiting for? Stop by the Moose Family Center in Altavista to learn more about how you can be a Moose.
A short drive will save you money.
This is Greg Walker with Felder Chevrolet. Our new 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty has many customers buying from us instead of the competition. Covers any vehicle purchased up to 10 years old with less than 150,000 miles, new or used. With our 3-day money-back guarantee, you can buy with confidence. Where else can you get great prices, good selection, 3-day money-back guarantee, and a warranty that gives you 10 years of protection? Come see us. You'll be glad you did.
Mark Saturday, September 30th on your calendar for the open house at English's, your complete home center. Save on Ariat boots, Carhartt clothing, Atrium windows, Davis and Valspar paints. He'll have free popcorn, giveaways, and a live broadcast from KD Country. This open house is Saturday only from 8 until 1. Make your plans to be there and get some great deals. Habitat for Humanity on site for Blitz Build signups. English's open house is sponsored by Valspar, Davis Paint, and Atrium Windows.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
The Tuscan Italian Grill halftime show returning for what's probably going to be its final segment. The Tuscan Italian Grill is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. They never take a break over there at the Tuscan. The grill is always fired up and everything tasting fresh. And they have the banquet room available for many different size groups, Dennis, and affordable and delicious catering options, too. That's what we need to do. We need to have the Tuscan cater our event sometime. We can hang out, eat some food, have a good time, watch a little football.
Well, they've got, it's really odd you say that. They do have a TV in the banquet room. It's got the direct TV on it. The Rotary, we utilize that banquet room 4 times a month, every Tuesday. They do have a very good catering service, and it's quick, it's affordable, and service is just like it is when you go in to eat. And I've been wondering if I can convince my wife, Lori, to go in tomorrow afternoon before we go to Liberty football and have a hamburger, the Southwestern burger. If you're going to pick up a hamburger, Southwestern burger up there is top-notch. It's got jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, real nice bun, and their French fries are fairly good, too. It rivals any sandwich I've had in Altavista for a while.
I believe it, too. We're talking about the Tuscan Italian Grill. They're in the Aaron's Shopping Center, It's on the Clarion Road, just off Route 29 in Altavista. Back to football now. The Altavista Colonels trail 20-0 to the home team, the Gretna Hawks, tonight. For the Hawks, I don't know that they need to change too many strategies, although they did not score on those last 2 drives there. I think they're going to keep their foot on the gas. What does Altavista need to do? Maybe some adjustments here at halftime, things that they can do to get back in the ballgame, because they're not out of it, but they're down 3 touchdowns.
Not out of it. We've got to take this first possession. Altavista needs to take this first possession, show what they had in that long, sustained drive in the second quarter. Don't turn the ball over. Continually get some first down, get in scoring, get in that red zone, and put the ball in, and the ball, it's a 2-possession game at that point. But, the field vision, we talked about that with Tabor Maidens, field vision for a young sophomore. This offensive line for Gretna is sophomore-dominated. So I told you earlier, new kids on the block, they really aren't showing it at 5-0. They've been on the road 3 weeks. This is only they've only had 2 games, 2 home games. This is their 3rd home game. They're not showing any rust coming off the road. They're not showing any rust from a potentially hard week of practice either.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think we talk about the youth of this Gretna ball club, but at some point we're probably going to have to stop talking about it because they play well beyond their years. This is a really, really good unit here for the Gretna Hawks that doesn't really matter that they're sophomores and juniors. They're ready to go. And a lot of these guys started last year, so they might have as much or more experience than seniors do. You gotta factor that in as well. They took some lumps last year, a 3-7 year for Cole Simpson's squad, but right now they're undefeated at 5-0. They're looking to move to 6-0. Can you believe we're halfway through the high school football season, the regular season anyway, Dennis?
We're halfway through their season, and our Colonels have played every team you just talked about. We played William Campbell, we played Rutherford, we played Stanton River. We played Central Lunenburg, Prince Edward. We've played some stellar teams. You talk about growth, maturation, maturity. We're a second-half team. We're a good third-quarter team so far this season. So I'm saying we've got our heads, our clear eyes, full hearts in this third quarter, and they'll be playing Colonel football. We'll get one of our big boys from the Transit Authority in the end zone. We'll stop them on the ensuing possession, and we'll be right back in this game. I've got a good feeling. Momentum will swing our way, and I'm always excited and eager to talk about our Colonels.
Yeah, Altavista has not won a ball game in the month of September. They beat Central Lunenburg in Game 1. That was back last week of August, so they are hungry for a win. Gretna Hawks are hungry to keep this undefeated season going, so both teams want it out here tonight. And right now, with the Hawks at 20-point advantage, they got to like where they are sitting. It is Altavista scheduled to receive the kickoff here. The Tuscan Italian Grill halftime show is over. We thank the Tuscans so much for tuning in. If you're in your way in and out of the Tuscan tonight, thank you for stopping by and eating, and thank you for joining our broadcast here. 55 years of continuous high school sports coverage, something that we're pretty proud of. Back deep to return, it is seniors Jacob Adams and Shaheen Pinnell.
Got the Maserati and the Fiat in the back there to return the kick. Who gets it and comes to the house?
They may elect to keep it away from those deep guys. It looks like Travis Hogan does the kicking honors for the Gretna Hawks. He's got the ball set up on the right hash mark, and we're almost ready to start this third quarter. It'll be presented by English's, your complete home center. Come by for the English's open house and sale tomorrow. Hoehne fields at the 15-yard line. Now turns it up the middle. Ooh, he had a full head of steam, and he was sort of chopped in the left knee there. He went flying forward and downed on the 30-yard line. Good return and good opening field position to start the third quarter for Altavista.
That's a second solid return Shaheen's had this evening, and I tell you, the Gretna coaching staff has been watching film because they know to tackle him low, stop that head of steam that you talked about. That was another shoelace tackle. He had another 5 or 10 yards, and he knew it. He got up, upset himself, dropped his shoulder, tried to get through the tackle.
2 receivers to each side for the Altavista Colonels. Now they had an extra personnel on the field. Colonels looking to the far sideline to get the play signaled in. Pinnell will stay on the field and be a running back beside Gilbert. Colonels taking a while to get the play going here. Referee checks the watch. It looks like the Colonels have another few seconds on the play clock. There's the snap. Gilbert looking left. Wants to throw. Chased out of the pocket. Stayed on his feet enough to get back to the line of scrimmage. He dove out the football to get that no gain. It was a good rush from Gretna. The pocket was collapsing on Gilbert, and he was really fortunate just to be able to slither his way out of that collapsing pocket.
Well, we had 2 wides we going right to left. Colonels have 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 wide receivers to the left. It was just big coverage by that Gretna defensive line, getting it back to shut Mr. Gilbert down before he could see down the field to pass.
2nd and 10 for Altavista, middle of the field, their own 30-yard line. Running play here. They hand to Pinnell. He tried to get in behind a pulling guard who was moving right to left and went nowhere. The Gretna defense in the backfield again. That looked to be number 15, Malik Farmer, that made the stop for the Hawks. It brings up 3rd and 10 now for Altavista. Early stages of the third quarter. We're just 60 seconds into the second half. Gretna leading 20-0.
Kyle, pick up a good, solid first down, keep the momentum and the clock on our side.
If you joined us late, Tabor Mabins has a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown for the Hawks. Jalen Myers has a rushing touchdown. Travis Hogan caught the touchdown pass. Here's an option play left. Gilbert's going to keep it himself, turns it up the alleyway in between the hash marks and the numbers. Small gain, not enough for a first down. Probably a punting situation here on 4th and 5 for the Altavista Colonels.
Good play call. Good play call by the coaching staff. Good job for Christian to keep his head in game. Saul had his up man, didn't pass the ball, had a Gretna defender in the alley. Maybe we get a little bit riverboat gambler here and roll the dice. What do you say?
You never know. It's a tough situation to do it on your own 35-yard line. Colonel's punting game has been pretty good this year. Looks like Dalen Miller deep to return. They got a Gretna player to jump offside. It's going to be close to the first down marker. It may be enough. It may force the official to actually measure here after the penalty. We do assume the penalty is on the Gretna Hawks. It had that appearance. It is on the Hawks. It'll give Altavista 5 free yards. Let's see where the football ends up. It looks like it's beyond that first down marker. I don't even think they need to measure. I think you're going to see the sticks move here with just under 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. So the Colonels have picked up a couple first downs via the penalty. And if you can take advantage of maybe a somewhat young, undisciplined defensive line, you might as well take advantage of it, right?
That's a rare, uncharacteristic mistake by Gretna this evening. Good snap count, drew them all sides, pick up a first down for us.
Ball resting just inside the left hash mark, just short of the 40-yard line. In Altavista territory, they're moving right to left. Here's a handoff to Pinnell. Again, he nearly had the full head of steam going, but he's brought down with an ankle tackle there from, I believe it was number 12, Jalen Myers, that got him down low and wrapped him up. You're right. You can tell that emphasis has been paid to hitting Pinnell low, stop those strong legs from churning.
Well, he had a head full. Shaheem had a head full of steam and a lot of green grass in front of him. And once again, slow tackle by who you called out there from Gretna. It's hard for me to see my play sheet here this evening, but another solid play ball on both sides of the ball for Gretna and Altavista.
2nd and 6 for the Colonels offense on the way. Left hash mark, moving right to left. Option play. Gilbert keeps it. Nice move to cut back into the middle of the defense, right into the teeth of the defense. He was able to pick up 5 yards there. It's going to be a full yard short of the first down. 8:50 left to play in the third quarter. 3rd and 1 coming up for the Altavista offense. They trail 20-0. Colonels, I guess they don't have to have points on this drive, but gosh, Dennis, if you want to come back here, you probably need to score on this opening drive of the half.
Oh, you do. You do need to score. We need to get in the end zone. Altavista needs to play solid here for the next 8 minutes and play our brand of football.
Here comes the shotgun snap to Gilbert. He hands off to Pennell. Pennell trying to find a hole on the right side. It's not there. He's thrown backwards and hit hard as he's going to the turf. The Gretna defense swarmed on Shaheem Pennell as he tried to take that running play outside. It'll back Altavista up. 4th and 4 now for the Colonels. Watch for the hard snap count again, but Altavista may have to punt the football away. They're near the middle of the field. This ball will get snapped from the Altavista 46-yard line.
Looks like we're going to bring Jonathan Montague in and take Shaheem out, and then real quick at the last second, Shaheem stays in. So once again, we're going to punt or try to draw them off sides.
7:40 left to play in the third quarter. Colonels taking their time. Gretna defense watching for the fake, or the hard snap count rather, and Pennell does boot it away. It's fielded on the 25-yard line. Looks like Hicks will turn it back up the middle. Hit up high by Daniel Triplett. They're trying to ride him to the ground. He's still on his feet at the moment. Now he's thrown backwards at the 38-yard line. Good hard running right there. Good job by the Colonels to converge. It was Triplett and Melton that were finally able to bring him down.
Looks like we've got a flag, some laundry on the play.
You would think on a punt return like that, it's probably a block in the back or a hold, but we'll wait for the official call from the referee.
Very solid punt by Shaheem and a great return by the Gretna men.
Punting game has been good really all season for the Colonels when they've gotten it off anyway. It is a block in the back against the return team. That's Gretna, so it'll hamper their starting field position a bit. Altavista's offense has struggled tonight, Dennis. It's been 5 punts now and 1 fumble. That drive where they had the fumble was their best drive of the night, but unfortunately coughed the football up when they were in the Gretna red zone.
You know, if you can't keep the ball, this Gretna offense will be quick. This Gretna offense can be slow.
Here comes 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line for the Hawks. Tyler Gord has a hold of Mavens and tries to suplex him backwards, and it's going to be little to no gain there on the first down running play for the Gretna quarterback. Hawks lead 20-0. Just over 7 minutes to play in the English's, your complete home center, third quarter.
You know, I think Tyler goes up to the buffet at Tuscan Grill. He seems to get bigger every week.
A lot of protein for him, too.
He does.
He's not eating the carbs like we are.
No, sir.
Gord is set up at the left defensive end spot. Shotgun formation from Gretna. They've operated exclusively out of shotgun. There's Tyler Gord again. He's able to bring down Jalen Myers. Good job by the aforementioned Tyler Gord. Comes up right when we're talking about him and makes another big stop. Montague was there in support, but that was all Gord.
I was getting ready to say, Jonathan assisted on the tackle. This Tyler Gord was up there. He knew we were calling his name. He liked that grilled chicken salad we talked about. They're hungry. They're getting back at this Gretna offense. Let's stop them, get the ball back, and move it again.
3rd and 10. Mavens looks left, throws that way. The pass is complete down the seam there. What a catch. It was good coverage from the Colonels. Adams and Gilbert had the receiver bracketed, but a catch from number 9, DeJuan Hicks. Really nice in traffic. It's a first down pickup for the Gretna Hawks, and it's a 24-yard pass and catch from Mavens to Hicks.
That was an excellent pass. That was an excellent catch by Hicks, and he got up. That was a hard tackle, but he got up giving that I'm hungry, keep moving kind of motion.
They hand it to Myers, sifting through the defense. Ran into his own man for a moment, shrugging off would-be tacklers. He's across the first down marker, inside the 25, pulling defenders with him as he goes down to the deck. Big gain. There's a flag on the far sideline that came out as the play was ending, I believe. Let's see what the official call is. Officials
getting ready
discussing for a moment. The foul is on the Altavista Colonels. They decline the penalty and just accept the result of the play. It's a first down, a big first down.
Huge run. Huge run by the Gretna back. Kept churning ball. He kept his legs moving and shrugged off a couple of our solid Colonel tacklers and going ahead too.
Jordan Berger is in the backfield now for the Hawks. He'll take the handoff and run off right tackle. Not much of a hole there, but he was able to force his way ahead for a pretty sizable gain, a 5-yard carry. 2nd and 5 on the way for the Hawks offense. They lead 20-0. 5:40 left to play in the third quarter. It's presented by English as your complete home center. Looks like Berger's still in there at the quarterback spot. They hand it to him. He's going up the middle, lowers his shoulder. Colonels have a hold of the shoestring there, and now the rest of the defense is able to converge. Gord and Triplett finally bring him down, along with number 8, Kendrick Coles.
Are you ready for me to call a sophomore again? Jordan Berger. He's got 251 yards on the ground thus far, along with 17, and that's about his 59th carry on the season.
Berger's actually in there at the quarterback spot, and now it's DeAndre Miller playing running back with him. Berger's going to keep it on the quarterback lead play. Goes off right tackle. It's a first down pickup. He's inside the 10-yard line. Mabins is not at the quarterback spot at the moment. And it is going to be first and goal from just inside the 10-yard line for Gretna's offense. They lead 20-0. Looks like Jordan Berger in there at the quarterback spot again. He's got DeAndre Miller set up to his right as a running back. See what the Colonels' defense can do here with their back to the wall. They hand off to Miller. Miller, not much doing on that play. Colonel's got some penetration. Looks like Adams is there. Looks like also number 52, Dakota Ashby, getting up off the bottom of the pile.
I was getting ready to say Dakota with the name that we called in weeks past. Good, solid hit, but they brought a second-string quarterback in for Gretna, and he seems to move the offense with as much efficiency as the starter.
Sure does. Mabins is going back in there now, though. Looks like they may empty the backfield for him and spread out 5 wide.
Got 2 Gretna wide receivers, 2 are right and 2 are left, Kyle.
20-0, the Gretna Hawk lead. Just over 4 minutes left to play in the third quarter. They put Hicks in motion. Maven wants to throw, looking right. Pump faked a couple times. Now he's harassed by the Colonel's defense and brought down. Good job to find him there and pull him down by Kendrick Coles on the stop there. A sophomore for the Altavista Colonels. So Altavista has some young bucks of their own that can do some damage. Coles that time on the quarterback sack.
Coles got back, wrapped him up, stayed through, didn't let him run out of the tackle. Good, solid hit.
3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. Colonel's defense trying to buckle down. Mavens thought about the throw, going to run it instead. Hit hard right at the 9-yard line. Might have picked up a yard. That was Jonte Gord that really stepped up and made a nice hit. Here comes a timeout on the field. The Gretna Hawks want to discuss this upcoming 4th down. They lead 20-0. 3:22 left to play in the third quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Napa know-how. When you purchase a set of Napa brake pads and rotors, you get a discount code from Fanatics.com worth up to $50 towards your favorite sports gear. While Napa can't help your team reach the promised land, we can help make sure your car will. Great brakes, great price, great fan gear. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Offer expires September 30th, 2017.
Napa Auto Parts, Main Street, Altavista, across from Feller Chevrolet.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
The Altavista defense looking to keep Gretna out of the end zone here on what's going to be 4th and goal from the 9-yard line. Colonel's defense with a little bend but don't break mentality, I guess, Mr. Jarvis, and we'll see what the Hawks offense decides here after the timeout to discuss the play call.
Well, we're seeing the regular starter for oh, no.
Oh, here comes a trick play. Double handoff. The wide receiver reverse. Oh, and the Colonels got to him and kept him out of the end zone. It was a well-designed play there. They handed it off to Hicks. He flipped it over to the other wide receiver, who I believe was Travis Hogan, but the Colonels stopped him at the 5-yard line. Good job by the Altavista defense to stymie what was a long drive for Gretna that started on their own 30-yard line. The Hawks really marched down, and as soon as they got near the end zone, the Altavista defense came up with some big plays.
Trickeration. The last 3 possessions, our defense, Colonel defense, has been solid, keeping Gretna out of the scoring column, and shutting them down in red zone was a big deal.
The Altavista defense has clearly made some adjustments, really probably starting midway through that the second quarter. Gilbert's going to keep it himself on the option read play, pulled it out of the gut of Shaheen Pinnell, and then angled his way up the middle of the field for a 3-yard pickup. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Colonels. 3 minutes left to play in the third quarter. It's a Gretna 20-0 lead, but Altavista seemingly with some momentum, Dennis.
I think we do, and if we could go down a solid game going into the fourth into the home stretch.
I think the Hawks are a bit frustrated that they're not up by more, but again, I credit the Altavista adjustments there. Gilbert was looking over the middle on the seam route for Jaden Gilbert. The pass falls incomplete. It was a full 5 yards away from Gilbert. It'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Altavista offense.
From my vantage point, it looked like a Gretna linebacker had tipped the ball just a little. The timing just wasn't there to get the pass complete.
Hawks lead this one 20-0. It was all Gretna early, and then Altavista slowly clawed their way, not back into the ball game, but they stemmed the Gretna tide a little bit anyway. Chris Gilbert has the offense set and ready to go here on 3rd down. Puts Jonte Gord in motion. They're going to run the option play to the right. Gilbert keeps himself hit hard by a convoy of Gretna tacklers, brought down at least 2 yards short of that first down marker. It'll bring up 4th and 2 for the Altavista offense. Colonels tried the hard snap count on 4th down on the punt, and that worked. Then they tried it again, and it didn't work. They moved the stick a little closer. It's more like 4th and 1. You could maybe argue going for this here, even though Altavista backed up on their own 14-yard line.
Kyle, it's a scary proposition. Do you punt? Do you try to go? You don't want to give the Gretna high-powered offense this ball deep in their territory.
Pinnell is not deep. He's not in that normal deep punting setup. Colonels are going to go for it. They snap it to Gilbert. Quarterback keeper up the middle. He got hit right at the line to gain. It's going to be close. It's going to depend on the spot, really. Colonels went for it. They did roll the dice on 4th and 1. They made contact with him really at the line of scrimmage. Question is, did Gilbert force his way across the first down marker? Gretna doesn't think so. They're bringing out new personnel, and the official will signal. Gretna football. Colonels do not get it. A turnover on downs there, deep in their own territory. Sometimes you got to gamble and roll the dice. That time, it did not pay off for Altavista.
Good call. Ball was just inches away from getting a first down, and I applaud the coaching staff for at least trying to keep the momentum going for the Colonels with the offensive series.
Colonels defense is going to get called to the stand again here. They made a nice stop on 3rd and 4th down to keep Gretna out of the end zone on the last Hawk possession. Gretna starting this one with very good field position. Their own 15-yard line. Pardon me, the Altavista 15-yard line.
High snap from the Gretna center back to the quarterback, but still picked up some positive yards.
Yeah, Mavens was able to bring it down and get it in the gut of number 4, Jordan Berger. Berger picked up nothing there. The Altavista defense got to him. Believe it was Tyler Gord again from that right defensive end spot. Mavens looking at the armband, now looks at his offense, checks the defense. Here's another high snap. He pulls out of the air, wants to throw, looking to the right pylon. It's incomplete. Ball skips out of bounds. Coverage was applied by Jonte Gord, and the pass maybe a little off target for Mavens. Brings up 3rd and 10 now from the 14-yard line.
You're correct, Kyle. The pass was a little overthrown. He's rolling out to his left, and it looked like our Altavista defender fell. Thank heavens that the play was a little to the wide left, or that would have been clear for a Skyhawk, a Hawk 6 rather.
The Skyhawks. Maybe they should add that to their nickname. 1:13 left to play in the third quarter. Hawks already leading 20-0. Here comes the quarterback keeper for Mavens. He's got room up the middle. He's across the 5 and into the end zone for 6. Touchdown for Tabron Mavens, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the evening. First of the half for the Hawks, and they now lead 26-0, assuming the extra point is upcoming. That's the 2nd time Mavens has been in the end zone on the ground tonight, Dennis. He's got the 1 passing touchdown to Travis Hogan as well.
Do you go for 2 if you're Gretna and keep the score where it should be for possession, or do you go for a traditional extra point?
Looks like they're going to try the extra point. Maurice Thompson on to kick. 2 for 3 on the extra point so far tonight. That's why it's a 26-0 lead at the moment. Ready to go here on the snap. Now you're going to get a flag that'll come out. Someone moved earlier. The Colonels were lined up offside. Yep, it's against Altavista. Gretna's just going to decline it. They'll keep the kicking block right where it is. Thompson is a bigger kicker. He is listed on the roster as a offensive and defensive lineman, listed at 245 pounds. Not bigger than the kicker we saw earlier this season.
No, sir. Central Lunenburg, first week.
This kick is low, and it get pushed off to the right. It was a good rush from the Altavista defensive line. Score will stay 26-0. The Gretna Hawks score again. Altavista football with a minute and change to go in the third quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Thinking of starting a business or expanding your company? Think about choosing Altavista as your location to invest and grow. Altavista offers low utility cost, broadband internet, US 29 access, and an attractive quality of life. You'll score big just like the Colonels when you invest in Altavista. Huddle up with the Altavista Office of Economic Development at Altavista Town Hall.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
55 years of continuous high school sports coverage here on 105.5. Seen a lot of these Altavista Gretna games. Going to get to see 2 this season. This is round 1 in 2017. So far, the Colonels are having their way with it. 26-0. We talked about all that momentum that Altavista had built up. Now seems like it's back on the Gretna sideline and stands.
You know, Kyle, it's possession. From time to time, it goes your way. Sometimes it goes theirs.
That's football. That's life. This kick will get caught just inside the near sideline by Shaheen Pinnell at the 10. He's got some room down that near sideline. Full stride across the 35, down the 40. He's pushed out of bounds there. They actually mark him just shy of the 40, so the Colonels will start this third possession of the third quarter on their own 39-yard line. Mr. Jarvis is now becoming desperation time with the Colonels trailing by 4 possessions and really just a quarter and some change to get back in the ballgame with.
And unfortunately, you're right. And this is a fast-moving third quarter. This is a fast pass, run, option-oriented Gretna offense. And we have to quick strike here early, Altavista does, or it's going to be a long ride back up 29 for our Colonels tonight.
Colonels could really use a long touchdown, something that doesn't take a lot of time. That's probably the only way they're going to get back in the ball game. Gilbert will hand off to Jonathan Montague. Montague's got some room there. He's sifting through the defensive line, finding seams and cracks, and twisting forward across the 44-yard line for a full 6-yard pickup on first down for the Colonels. Down to 45 seconds left to play in the English's, your complete home center, third quarter.
You know, we haven't seen Jonathan run the ball since about week 3. Unfortunately, for those at home, he just went off the sideline. He's not real happy about what's going on. I think he's got a muscle strain or a spasm going on.
He's been trying to get that leg healthy. There's a pass catch on the far sideline to Jacob Adams again. Really hit as he's catching the football and hit hard. The football came out at the end of the play. Was Adams down? No official signal from the officials just yet. Still waiting on it. Now they're going to get together and talk about whether Jacob Adams was down or not. It was a 10-yard pass and catch. Adams, again, hit as he's catching the football. They're going to call an incomplete pass. Okay, Jacob Adams really looked like he had control of it, but perhaps bobbling it over there on that far sideline. You see the Gretna offense shuffle off the field. That's another benefit the Hawks have. They don't have as many guys going both ways as the Colonels do. The Colonels really with 8 or 9 starters that play pretty much the entire ball game.
That's been the story of the season, attrition. Less numbers for us, more numbers for the opposing team.
3rd and 4 coming up for the Altavista offense from the 45-yard line. Gilbert looking, has to get rid of it, can't. He takes the sack, holds on to the football, but Gilbert was hit hard as the rush was coming. It's a loss of 6. Colonels are back to where they started from, their own 39-yard line. Down to 5 seconds left to go in the quarter, so if the Colonels are going to punt it away, it's probably going to wait until the 4th quarter. Gretna 26, Altavista 0. We've played 3 here from Lester Bond Field in Gretna. 4th quarter on the way. You return to 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial of Altavista offers mobile welding and repair services, fully equipped service trucks, certified craftsmen, and quick response to satisfy your needs. Contact PCM Industrial at powerconstruction.com. PCM Industrial is a fully insured Class A licensed contractor, OSHA and MSHA compliant. PCM Industrial Services of Altavista wishes Coach Sharness and the Altavista Colonels football team good luck in another winning season. Go Colonels.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
12 more minutes of regulation football left to go here from Gretna High School. The Hawks on top at the moment, 26-0. Gretna comes into the ball game 5-0 and appears to be on track to go to 6-0 unless the Altavista Colonels can pull out really what would be a quarter of a lifetime here, Dennis. I mean, somebody's come back from 4 touchdowns before, I'm sure, but it's pretty improbable. If the Colonels are going to do it, got to get started pretty quick, and they've got a 4th and 10 coming up. They've forgotten to switch sides. Altavista will have to run down about 25 yards to the other side of the field, the other 39-yard line. I think they're going to boot the ball away here to start the 4th quarter, and maybe you hope Gretna fumbles the ball somewhere, throws an interception or something to help get you back in the game.
Real quick, I was going to tell you, the last time I saw someone come back from 4 possessions down and win the game, triple overtime, West Virginia over Louisville, 2008. It was a fantastic game. I was there in person.
Ooh, you saw that in person. That's pretty neat. Pinnell, unable to get the punt off. The football pops out. It's going to be Gretna ball either way, whether Altavista got the football back or not. It was a heavy rush coming at Shaheen Pinnell, the big man that was able to get Pinnell and then dislodge the football. Number 95, Tasman Stone Johnson there. He is a senior. So we finally talked about a senior for Gretna, and he causes a fumble on a 4th down punting situation. Mr. Stone Johnson got in the Altavista backfield.
No, is that not an all-star football name that we get to call tonight? Or that's pretty cool.
I hope they call him the Tasmanian Devil.
They
Close
should.
enough, right? And here come the Hawks offense again. Maven's going to throw on 1st down. Colonel's coverage is good. Gord hit him as he's throwing the football. Pinnell's back there deep. It's broken up. He really battled Hicks for the football. Hicks honestly didn't have the positioning. You can almost argue offensive pass interference. As it is, it's just an incomplete pass. Good coverage from Shaheen Pinnell.
And what a fantastic arm with this sophomore signal caller from Gretna. That was a little off. The wide receiver, you're right, didn't have the possession. Could have went either way on that with the offensive pass interference potential.
Mavens is a left-handed quarterback. He'll hand off this time, running play going left. Now the running back turns it up inside the numbers there. It's a 12-yard gain for Jordan Berger. He's been the man of the hour running the football for the Hawks here in the second half. 12 yards is enough for a 1st and 10 for the Gretna Hawks. They lead 26-0 on the move right to left here to start this English's, your complete home center, 4th quarter.
You know, Jordan Berger's the 2nd leading rusher on the season for Gretna, and he's showing why. He's very versatile.
Passing play here from Mavens. This one is high, overshot the intended target, incomplete on 1st down. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. Good coverage again from Shaheen Pinnell. Jonte Gord was in position as well from the safety spot.
For Mavens, that was uncharacteristic for him to be so high and off the mark. It was a good play call, but you were right. Our Altavista defender was right there, could have knocked the pass away.
Passing play again. Maven sprinting out to the right. Throws on the move. Complete far sideline. Adams is able to push the receiver out of bounds short of the 1st down marker at the 20-yard line. Hawks are going to need to pick up 3 here on 3rd down to keep the drive going.
Kyle, wouldn't you say that was impressive, the way they stretched the field a little bit on that play? Caught what we thought was going to be a run to the left side. Quarterback rolls out right, picks up a nice chunk of yardage. Good real estate ahead of him.
More like 3rd and 4 here. The ball's actually in between the 21 and the 20. Tight splits up front for the Gretna offensive line. Maybe a running play here. Mavens will keep it. Going to go off left tackle. Now he's sprinting to the outside. Pinnell being blocked backwards. Good blocking on the outside of the play. Maven stumbles forward across the 10-yard line. Colonels finally got to him, but it's more than enough for a 1st down. It was number 15, Jaden Martin, that was finally able to run him down with help from Daniel Triplett.
Gretna quarterback drops his shoulder, picks up another few yards. He ran through that tackle. Very impressive by the sophomore signal caller.
11:04 left to play in the ball game. 1st and goal for the Gretna Hawks, trying to add to this 26-0 lead. There's a handoff play. Berger in the end zone for 6. Touchdown, Gretna Hawks. 32-0, the Hawk lead. It's 10:56 left to play in the ball game. May have actually been number 2, Dennis, DeAndre Miller on the touchdown. I beg your pardon. Believe it was Miller scoring from 5 yards out there to extend the Gretna lead.
That's his second touchdown. And would you believe if I told you he's a sophomore?
I would definitely believe it. Everybody we've talked about for the most part for Gretna is a sophomore. This team is going to be one to be reckoned with in the future. Here comes Thompson on for the extra point again for the Hawks. They're taking their time getting set up. The snap is back. Ball is on the block. This time the kick looks like it is good, and it's 33-0. Gretna Hawks extending the lead. Just under 11 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Altavista football when we return on 105.5 KD Country.
Your home is your biggest investment. It must be handled properly. Let the professionals at DL Bryant Heating and Cooling handle your home issues. Donnie and his trained professional staff are ready at 434-841-1580. They can make sure your home or business HVAC system is ready. Ready for the rest of the summer and ready for the upcoming fall and winter. Call DL Bryant Heating and Cooling at 434-841-1580. That's 841-1580. DL Bryant is ready to protect your investment.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
The Gretna Hawks look like they're going to move to 6-0 on the season. And if you've been listening to our ball game, you can see why. They're young and talented, fast and physical. They move the ball on the ground and in the air. Another rushing touchdown there, this time from DeAndre Miller from 5 yards out. It's a 33-0 Gretna lead. Now the job for the Colonels, Dennis, I believe, is just to play with the pride and try not to get shut out. The Colonels have not been shut out this season, even in that Stanton River game. True. So you got to believe that that's a point of pride to just get something on the scoreboard here. They've got 11 minutes to do it with.
Yeah, I don't want the Colonel faithful back home to not understand that we've been playing hard, charging ahead.
Line drive kick. Adams Fields muffs it for a moment. Now he has control of it. Up the middle. He's made a couple tacklers miss. Moving right to left across the 30-yard line. Thrown down there by the shoulder pads and the jersey. That's where Altavista will operate from with 10:46 left to play now in the Englishes, your complete home center. Fourth quarter. It is the big sale tomorrow at Englishes. Ariat boots, Carhartt clothing for men and women, Davis paint, all the brands that you know, all the brands that you trust, Mr. Jarvis. You said you're going to pop in there, and I think a lot of folks are going to take advantage of the big sales tomorrow at Englishes.
I could use a new pair of Ariat boots. I hope my wife's listening.
Maybe she will. Is she?
I hope so.
Okay.
I don't know. She wasn't talking to me earlier.
The crew out there towards the mountains of Virginia and West Virginia gets rowdy sometimes. Sometimes they lose the internet connection out that way. Timeout on the field for the Colonels. We'll discuss geography and the internet more when we come back. It's a 33-0 Gretna lead. Altavista football when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, with offices in Lynchburg.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
The Altavista Colonels taking some time to get this drive to start the fourth quarter started here. They trail 33-0. The Hawks scored in the early stages of the quarter, but this will be the first possession of the quarter for the Colonels. Chris Gilbert still in there at the quarterback spot. He's ready to receive the waist-high snap. Hands off to Shaheen Pennell, who's charging his way through the defense, trying to shake off tacklers. Had the ball in the right hand, using the free left hand to get some yards. It ends up being an 8 or a 9-yard gain on first down for Pennell. And the Altavista Colonels will have, well, hold that thought, Dennis. There is a penalty. It is illegal procedure on the Altavista Colonels, so it will negate everything that I just talked about and probably make it 1st and 15 now for Altavista from their own 25-yard line.
You know, Kyle, before we took the time out, I was going to say that we stopped the Colonel defense has stopped Gretna on two possessions, stopped them there in that red zone. We could see a lot of momentum churning I wouldn't want the people back home thinking tonight that the Colonels have not had an opportunity here or there tonight. It's just been stymied at the wrong times for us.
Yeah, the scoreboard doesn't really reveal everything that's happened tonight. There's probably the same identical play call there as Pinnell charging through the middle. Not nearly as much success this time, only a 2 or 3 yard gain. Colonels have had some moments, but you're right. The third downs have been really going the Hawks' way.
You know, Kyle, I was just doing some rough math. 15 sophomores for Gretna, 11 juniors. That right there, those 26 players are more than our entire roster.
Wow. That is some interesting math. There's a complete pass to Jacob Adams at the 32-yard line. Man hit hard as he tried to turn the corner and break free from one tackler that had him around the waist. Hicks was in the area. So was number 21, Talon Miller. We haven't called his name much, but I believe he was the one that laid the big shot on Jacob Adams there. It ends up being a 3-yard gain, 3rd and 9, coming up for the Altavista offense from the near right hash mark, working left to right from Dennis and I's perspective in the press box.
Sportsmanship from our Colonels. Jacob cut right up and acknowledged the hit, patted the Gretna player you called right on the helmet and said, wow, I'll be feeling that one tomorrow morning.
Adams is lined up wide out left. There is 2 wings, a running back in there with Gilbert. That's Pinnell. They fake it to Pinnell. They flip the option pitch to number 28. That was Jaden Martin. Pardon me, that was Jaquelin Jones. I beg your pardon. Jones picked up 5 after the option pitch, but got hit hard by Berger at the end of the play. He's a full 5 yards short of the first down marker. Colonels could go for it here. I think Coach Sharnes will probably play it conventionally and just punt the football away here on 4th and 5. 8:40 left to play in the ball game. It's a 33-0 Gretna lead. Pinnell is back deep to punt.
You know, Kyle, this is a hard-hitting, hard-charging, very physical Gretna team this evening.
They play with a chip on their shoulder. Movement up front. Maybe the defensive lineman did not come across, though. Pinnell's kick is blocked. It's blocked, and it'll get scooped up by the Hawks around the line of scrimmage. That's the 35-yard line. Gretna's offense will take over there with 8:13 left to play in the ball game. Already sporting a 33-0 lead. Last year, Dennis, Altavista won this game 70-27. You think some of these Hawk players remember that and are trying to exact a little revenge, if you will?
No, Kyle, let's do that math again. We said 15 sophomores, 11 juniors. They do remember. You know, they played real sound, fundamental football in all 3 facets of the game. You look at that punt block by their special teams.
2 backs in the backfield with Tabor and Mavens. Right-hander winds it up and throws down the far sideline again. There's Shaheen Pinnell. He got to the receiver a bit early to break up the pass. That is pass interference. They were looking for DeJuan Hicks again, and essentially they found him. The pass interference call is going to move this football way up. Pinnell really was a little late getting he was trying to recover because he was a step late to the spot, and he ended up hitting Hicks early before the ball got there. I'm sort of mixing up the late and early, but it was a pass interference penalty.
Kyle, Gretna's dialed that play off. That's a 4th time this evening they called that. What an arm by their sophomore signal caller, and just too much ball, too much air, too much real estate.
Hicks with a good size height advantage there. Hicks stands at 6'3". Shaheen Pinnell only about 5'9", and clearly that's a matchup that Gretna likes and appears to be going in their favor. Here comes Mavens. He's going to run off right tackle. Got some room. Oh, nice cut to the outside, and he waltzes into the end zone untouched for another Gretna Hawk touchdown. Another rushing touchdown from Tabor Mavens. This time he's in from 3 yards out. His 3rd rushing TD of the night.
Kyle, you called it right earlier, too. We need for Altavista to come back, take this ball, march down the field, not just gain some momentum, eat some clock up. We need to get in that end zone so we don't have the first shutout for the Colonels this season.
Really going to have to get it going quickly now with 8:07 left to play in the ball game. Colonels may only touch the football one final time here in this English is your complete home center 4th quarter. Thompson on again to kick the extra point, trying to get Gretna 40 points. Snap is back, kick is very high and no good. Gretna's lead will get stuck at 39-0. 8 minutes and change left to play in the ball game. Altavista football when you return to 105.5 KD Country.
Whatever your truck, car, SUV needs are, Highview Motors GMC has it all, from small to tall. New to pre-owned, offering more than just GMC sales. Highview Motors GMC provides 24-hour towing, full-service body shop, state inspection, transmissions, everything in between. Highview Motors GMC, providing top-quality service since 1961.
Small to tall, we got it all. Highview Motors GMC.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
8:07 left to play in the English's Your Complete Home Center fourth quarter. It's a 39-0 Gretna Hawk lead. They led 20-0 at halftime. Since then, Hawks have put up 19 more, and really it looked like Altavista was going to threaten and get back in the game in the early stages of the third quarter, Dennis, but the Hawks squashing that momentum that the Colonels had. It's been really all Gretna since midway through the third quarter. Tabor Mavens has scored 3 rushing touchdowns. He's thrown a touchdown. DeAndre Miller has run a touchdown, and Jalen Myers has the 6th and final touchdown for the Gretna Hawks. Colonels right now, again, just playing for pride. And sometimes that's all you have on the football field. Sometimes you're just a little bit overmatched. Right now, the Hawks having their way with the Altavista Colonels. A high kick will bounce on the 20-yard line, picked up on one bounce by Shaheem Pinnell. Had the full stride going across the 30 to the 35-yard line, hit hard around the 37. They move the ball up to about the 38-yard line. Colonels will start there on what might end up being their final possession of the game. You never know.
You know, Kyle, pride is one thing Altavista team has. Pride is one thing it's invested in our programs, from all the way down to our Altavista Robotic Eagles. And, you know, every team, every student athlete, every student leader at this high school of ours always has pride. We do not see a lack of that this evening, even though it is been a hard night for our Colonels, down 39-0.
You think back to that Stanton River game where they lost 72-7. They were playing hard till the very end. Option play here for Chris Gilbert. He does pitch it over to the option man at the 39-yard line. That is Jaqueline Jones again, who just was able to gather up 1 yard there, maybe 2 as he was hit, really virtually as he was receiving that option pitch. Down to 7 minutes and 25 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter. 39-0, the Gretna lead.
You know, one of the breaks we were talking about, this hard-charging Gretna defense averaged about 59, 60 tackles so far on the season, and they're just hard-charging. They're breaking through our line. They're rattling our quarterback, shutting the alleys down. This is just a well-coached, pretty fundamentally sound team tonight.
Yeah, the Gretna defense moves well. They tackle well. They seem to communicate. There's a running play there for Shaheem Pinnell going up the middle. And the Gretna defense has enough size up front that you can't really just keep it between the tackles all night. You got to try and get outside at some point on them. And that's when they really swarm and converge when you do attempt to go outside the tackle box. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Colonels. 6:35 left to play in the English's Your Complete Home Center fourth quarter.
Kyle, and, you know, this Gretna defense hasn't surrendered. They've only given up 2 touchdowns average a game.
Yeah, that is impressive. Really is. They've given up 14 points 4 times this season. Gave up 8 points in the Radford game. They're on schedule to give up no points here. Christian Gilbert able to race his way across the 45-yard line and now the 50 where he's tripped up, hit in the thigh pad, and dropped just inside the far sideline. That's a 9-yard gain, enough for a first down for the Colonels. They're on the move left to right here in this fourth quarter, and I think that's a big point of emphasis. Try and get on the scoreboard. And if you're the Gretna Hawks, clearly you want to keep Altavista off the scoreboard.
You would, and you made a good point. You know, only 8. The lowest point total has been 8 from Radford there in week 3.
Mm-hmm. Handoff play. They're going to Pinnell up the middle. Offensive line had a really good surge up front. One of the D linemen was able to get down low and trip up Pinnell after a 3 or 4 yard gain. 5:39 left to play in the contest. It's a 39-0 Gretna Hawk advantage. It was Hawks early. They scored 14 points in the first quarter, held a 20-point lead at halftime.
You know, we play week to week, down to down, And I know it's hard for the Colonels to understand what's been happening so far tonight.
Bunnell took the handoff, trying to go off right tackle behind a pulling guard, but never could get there. The Gretna defense in the backfield again, dropped for a loss of 1 or 2. Might have been number 30, Bryant Davis, back there making the stop. He's a junior for the Gretna Hawks. Looked like he was in the backfield early.
A junior?
Yeah.
We haven't called that for a while.
We have talked about a few seniors for Gretna. There is a few out there. But most of the heavy hitters are sophomores and juniors for this Gretna Hawk football club. 3rd and 9 coming up for the Altavista Colonels, middle of the field. They fake the handoff, option play. Gilbert with a nice job to get out of the backfield and ahead for 4 yards. He put a really good deke move on the defender there and shifted his momentum back up the middle. 5-yard pickup, 4th and 4 for the Altavista Colonels. They need to get to the 37-yard line. There's 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the ball game. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 4. At least it looks like they're going for it anyway.
I'll call you. At this point, you have to keep the momentum strong, pick up some positive yards, another first down, keep the clock on your side and the ball on your side.
Put a man in motion. Wide receiver sweep. He turns it up, gets to the 40-yard line, hit hard there, and stop. The Altavista Colonels are not going to keep the drive going. It was Jaquelin Jones on the carry. He was unable to get much more than about a yard, and the Gretna offense will take over on their own 40-yard line. Hawks already with 39-0 lead. We'll see how badly head coach Cole Simpson wants to score. Maybe he'll just run this clock out with just under 4 minutes to play.
You know, Kyle, last week this team put 60 points up on the board against Chatham. Gretna did. They scored 45 in week 2. They scored 20 in week 1, 20 in week 3 against Nottingham. Lowest point totals on the road, 15 for Bradford. And
Mabrins comes out firing. The pass is complete, but unfortunately his receiver is out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Really the same play they've been running, just kind of a classic fade route there. Throw it deep, let the receiver run under it, and Hicks was there. Just ran out of real estate on the near sideline again.
It's rare we talked about that tonight, running out of real estate. This Gretna sophomore quarterback runs right, runs left, has good field vision. One of the most impressive sophomore quarterbacks I've ever had the privilege to watch.
He'll hand it off this time. Inside running play between the tackles. Gretna running back gets across the 45-yard line to the 46. Was close to the ground the whole time, but was able to stay on his feet. That running back is, let's find out who it is. Is it Jordan Berger? It is. It's Berger back in there running the football. 3:15 left to play in the ball game. 3rd and 4 coming up for the Hawks offense. Again, 4th quarter brought to you by English's, your complete home center. We'll tell you one more time to meet us down at English's tomorrow for their open house and big sale. Here comes Berger again on a running play. Cuts it back at the 50. Now he's across the 40. Has a defender draped on his back. He finally stumbles down at the 25-yard line. Big chunky yardage, 8 up there on a 29-yard running play for Jordan Berger and the Gretna Hawks offense.
You know, we watched Jordan Berger tonight be come in at quarterback. We watched Jordan Berger come in at tailback, running back. He's their second, third leading rusher on the season. He shows why he's very versatile. Came off the field there doing a little bit of a dab. Pretty pleased with himself.
Good hard runner, too. 180 pounds, 6 feet, 1 inch tall. So he's got some size to hit you as well. 1st and 10 for the Hawks, 26-yard line, middle of the field. Timeout on the field. The Altavista Colonels defense has taken it. We'll take it too. Gretna 39, Altavista 0. 2 minutes and 25 seconds left in our ball game on 105.5 KD Country.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Service you can trust and prices that work for your family. During the moments in life that matter, you'll be able to feel the difference made by family ownership. Finch and Finch, families serving families since 1905.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Our sound engineer, Katie, serenading us in the commercial breaks there with some good singing. Unfortunately for the Colonels, the music has not sounded too good tonight. They trail 39-0. The Gretna Hawks are going to move to 6-0 on the season. for Altavista. They fall to 1-5. We've still got 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to play. Mavens wants to throw again. Looking down the middle, pass broken up by Jonte Gord. Gord really climbed the ladder high there at the 5-yard line in the middle of the field to get the right hand on the pigskin and knock it away. 2 minutes, and 18 seconds left to play in the ball game. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Gretna Hawks. Clearly trying to get another score here before contest ends, Dennis.
Kyle, but our young men don't quit. Altavista knocked the ball away. Our defenders was there, and Jonte was strong and tough.
Looked like Jordan Berger with a jump cut after the handoff outside the right guard. He's brought down after a pickup of 5. Bring up 4th down. Well, pardon me, I think it's going to bring up 3rd down. I beg your pardon.
3rd and 10, 3rd and 8.
1:41 left to play in the ball game. Hawks going for it here. Here comes the handoff to Berger again. He's got some room outside left. Now turns it back inside. Angles across the numbers. Looks like he's across the 15-yard line. That's enough for another Gretna Hawk first down. Inside 90 seconds left to play in the ball game. Now, Colonel's defense going to try and tighten up and keep Gretna out of the end zone here. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line for the Hawks offense.
Kyle, would you think at this point Gretna would go in victory formation, put the horses to bed, and go to their homecoming dance and have a good evening?
It looks like that's what they're doing now. You see one deep running back who's a full 17 yards behind the formation. Mavens will get under center for the first time this evening. They'll take the knee there at the 19-yard line. They'll probably have to kneel down at least one more time here as the clock has 52 seconds on it. It's going to be a Gretna Hawk win, 39-0. We hope you stick around for the post-game show. We'll give you some scores from some other area games. We'll recap this one. We'll talk about next week. It does not get any easier for Altavista, Dennis. Dan River comes a-calling. Wildcats are putting together another good season. They're always a tough game for Altavista. Next week's going to be no exception.
I was getting ready to ask you how they were doing this evening. And, you know, it's every week we have been playing this gauntlet schedule. I'm impressed that we still are driving, we're still charging, we're still moving forward. But this one's going to end for us tonight with us being out, not scoring, but a lot of positive energy to take away. Coaching staff's got to get the boys together and get ready for next Friday night.
Ball game is done here from Gretna. The Hawks win it and stay undefeated on the 2017 season. 39-0 Gretna winner. Post-game show on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
Here's some valuable information when buying your dream home. I'm Tracy Gallahan with First National Bank, and we offer more mortgage options. We have a wider variety of loans to help you purchase a new home or lower your existing monthly payment. So, for a more custom mortgage loan of any size, contact local First National Bank. We'll show you an extraordinary customer experience and help you bring home more bacon. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's cold in here. Will your heating system keep you warm this winter, or will you spend a cold evening shivering under the covers? Have your heating system inspected today by Tyree Littles Heating and Cooling. Kent Tyree has over 20 years experience and specializes in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Licensed and bonded. Call for an appointment today. 309-2266. 309-2266. Tyree Littles Heating and Cooling.
Fun times are waiting for you at El Cazador, Altavista's oldest Mexican restaurant. Relax in comfort with daily food and drink specials, Mexican and American foods, and a children's menu too. Call for takeout or go online to elcazadorva.com. El Cazador is a proud supporter of community activities like high school sports and the Y. El Cazador is open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Stop by before or after the game.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
We return to Gretna High School. The fans and the players from the Hawks celebrating the victory tonight. 39-0, a Gretna win over the Altavista Colonels. Dennis, I said the team's been trading victories going back to 2011, and that held to form tonight. Altavista won last year. Gretna wins this year. 39-0 shutout, a game that the Colonels looked like they were going to get back into for a moment, but Hawks just too tough, too consistent, too. I mean, the Gretna Hawks are really consistent. They don't make a ton of mistakes.
No.
Not as many flashy plays as we've seen from some other ball clubs, but they don't make any mistakes either.
No, and quite impressive. Quite impressive. This is a youth movement. Gretna kind of flawlessly, effortlessly went out there and ran an efficient offense. They're very solid on defense. They're in the backfield, stopping our momentum, Altavista momentum. Quite impressive. One of the more impressive teams we've called this year. We've seen some big, heavy hitters down the weeks up, the weeks down. But this is a solid Gretna team that unexpectedly put a goose egg on Altavista. And I've been here for 3 seasons. Listen, you call for 3, for 2.5, for 2, rather, and I'm part of the team this year. I don't think I can recall a time when I heard Altavista not getting hit pay dirt. I know that's got to hurt for our Colonel faithful, but especially for these young men who had an opportunity. We stopped, had 3 possessions. We stopped Gretna in a row, one in the red zone, and we just could not get that ball past midfield.
Yeah, Colonels were shut out last year in the Rustburg ball game, but it's the first time they've been shut out this season. First shutout of the season for the Gretna Hawks, if you can believe that. 39-0. They moved to 6-0. Colonels fall to 1-5. Post-game show continues. We'll collect our thoughts and be back in just a moment. It's high school football on 105.5 KD Country.
The game is brought to you by these members of the KD Country Sports Club.
Radio Shack and Crystal Bay Pools, serving your area since 1989 for swimming pool installations, chemicals, liners, and more.
El Cerrito. Throw on a sombrero. Shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only El Cerrito can serve up.
One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista, where the gas is cheap, beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
McDonald's of Altavista, proud supporter of the Altavista Colonels. Stop by or drive through before or after the game.
The Dairy Freeze with hot dogs, burgers, fries, and of course ice cream. They're doing it right at the Freeze on Main Street, Altavista.
Old Dominion Insurance. See Kim and Gil, your Erie insurance agents on Main Street, Gretna, next to Tyler Flower Shop.
Thanks for sponsoring tonight's broadcast on 105.5 KD Country.
To become a Moose is an awesome feeling. You just can't belong to a better organization.
I was born and raised in a Moose, and I'll be a Moose the rest of my life. My son is a Moose. We're 3-generation Moose loggers. That's how it is with us. I hope everybody else that can join and become a member, you need to do it. You need to see what it does for us.
Why I belong to the Moose. For friendship, for the children, and most of all for the seniors.
What are you waiting for? Stop by the Moose Family Center in Altavista to learn more about how you can be a Moose.
A short drive will save you money.
This is Greg Walker with Feller Chevrolet. Our new 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty has many customers buying from us instead of the competition. Covers any vehicle purchased up to 10 years old with less than 150,000 miles, new or used. With our 3-day money-back guarantee, you can buy with confidence. Where else can you get great prices, good selection, 3-day money-back guarantee, and a warranty that gives you 10 years of protection? Come see us. You'll be glad you did.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, we return to Gretna High School for some more post-game action. The Gretna Hawks are a winner here tonight, 39-0. They stay undefeated, improving to 6-0 on the season. Colonels fall to 1-5. We already mentioned Altavista takes on Dan River next week, who had a bye tonight. The Gretna Hawks face William Campbell next week, and that should be a very exciting matchup. Campbell has their hands full at the moment with Perry McClure. They lead 22-21. So the Generals sporting a 1-point lead. Amherst is up 35-0 over Rustburg. Brookville leading EC Glass 38-34. Stanton River has come back. They're on top of Lord Botetourt 21-14. Appomattox leading Fork Union 42-21. JF beating LCA 42-14. Heritage is beating up on Liberty 34-0. Franklin County trails Magna Vista. Halifax beating Bassett 34-21. Few other teams out there playing, and I don't think any of those games are final yet, Rustburg. I think, or Dennis. I don't know why I called you Rustberg there. It's been a long night.
It has.
And we're getting ready for tomorrow, too. I think most of those games are still in the fourth quarter right now, so we'll keep an eye on them and then take some more time to discuss this one. Hawks, 14 points in the first quarter. It was Jalen Myers, a 10-yard rushing TD. Tabor Mabins hooked up with Travis Hogan on a pass from 9 yards out. Mabins had a 10-yard rushing TD in the first half running, and then he ran one in the third quarter from 14 yards out. He ran one in the fourth quarter from 3 yards out, and DeAndre Miller with a 2-yard rushing TD. That was the final touchdown for the Gretna Hawks.
You know, this is a fairly diverse, solid game from Gretna. You had Mr. Mabins, you had Mr. Berger, you called some other numbers, you called some other names. It wasn't one person, it was several. A solid offensive line play, quite impressive. We've seen many teams come up against the Colonels this year. This one hurts a little more because it's a rival on 29 South. But, you know, we get these young men up 29 North in 2 weeks or so. They come in for a Thursday night clip for some Thursday night lights. And, you know, not looking ahead, but, you know, we got Dan River coming in just like Rutherford, a week off before they play us. They had a pretty hard loss to Appomattox County in their last game last week. They're going to be coming in at 3-2 on the season. And that's another, I know I call this all the time, but that is a rival. I've watched us play them. It's a lot of heat, a lot of community spirit on both ends. And I hope our guys can shake some things off this evening. This one's going to hurt driving back north because it wasn't for lack of effort once again. We were hard charging. We called a lot of people's names. We called Shaheem Cornell. We called Christian Gilbert. We called good tackling. You know, Jacob Adams getting up after some hard hits, telling the Gretna players, hey, good job, way to go. I applaud these young men, but this was really hard tonight. I know it is.
Glad you pointed out that this is round one in 2017 between these two ball clubs. They'll meet again in 2 weeks from yesterday, I suppose, for a Thursday night matchup. And that's interesting in itself, and maybe we can discuss that more next week. But I probably didn't talk about the fact that these two teams are going to meet again. I probably didn't mention that enough, so I'm glad you did. Let's take another time out here, and then we'll be back to wrap it up. Players of the game. We'll talk a little bit more about this one, and we'll tell you more about the Dan River Wildcats next week. You heard Dennis mention they're off tonight. Last time they were out, they had a tough loss to Appomattox, but Dan River will be a stout opponent next Friday in Altavista. It was Gretna 39, Altavista 0 tonight. You heard all the action live on 105.5 KD Country.
Mark Saturday, September 30th on your calendar for the open house at English's, your complete home center. Save on Ariat boots, Carhartt clothing, Atrium windows, Davis and Valspar paints. They'll have free popcorn, giveaways, and a live broadcast from KD Country. This open house is Saturday only from 8 until 1. Make your plans to be there and get some great deals. Habitat for Humanity on site for Blitz Build signups. English's open house is sponsored by Valspar, Davis Paint, and Atrium Windows.
Getting the best usually costs a pretty penny. But when it comes to getting one of the best motor oils, your pennies don't have to be pretty at all. Because Valvoline Full Synthetic Motor Oil is only $5.59 a quart. So treat yourself to Valvoline Full Synthetic, now just $5.59. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa Know-How.
General States pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 9/30/17.
Napa Auto Parts, Main Street, Altavista, across from Feller Chevrolet.
Thinking of starting a business or expanding your company? Think about choosing Altavista as your location to invest and grow. Altavista offers low utility cost, broadband internet, US 29 access, and an attractive quality of life. You'll score big just like the Colonels when you invest in Altavista. Huddle up with the Altavista Office of Economic Development at Altavista Town Hall.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
55 years of award-winning high school sports coverage on KD Country. We're putting finishing touches on another one tonight. It did not go the Altavista Colonels' way. It was a Gretna win 39-0. Hawks stay undefeated. Things are feeling good again here in Gretna. These football fans are hungry for another season like this, and they're in the midst of it. I know they're enjoying it. For the Colonels, and they've seen some good years. I mean, last year Altavista was 8-4 and made a legit state title run, lost out on the road there at Sussex. But this is not what they're accustomed to, but I think most of the Altavista fans know it's a tough year. It's a tough schedule. The numbers are down. Everybody's having to play both ways. Well, not everybody, but a lot of guys having to play both ways. It's tough, Dennis. It does not get any easier next week when the Wildcats from Dan River come waltzing into English Stadium.
It does not, and you're correct. We've got a lot of young men playing both sides of the ball. You see it just in attrition. You see it in the, not for lack of intensity, when an opposing team can put their second, third deep in when needed. And we've got guys like Jonathan Montague playing on both sides, Shaheem Pannell, Jacob Adams, Christian Gilbert. These are warriors. This is Iron Man football for Altavista this year. And for anyone to think or say any different about the outcome is not what they would think, they need to understand that they started one-day practices in the heat in August. They were in this 5 weeks, this 6 weeks here with, nothing to take away from Central Lunenburg, but just a monster schedule down the pike here. And I can't say enough how proud I am of how they don't give up. And tonight's not indicative of the way they played, what we saw. Few mistakes, not a lot of penalties. We got a punt block. We had a fumble, but there was times when Altavista stopped this massive, potent offense that Gretna had. And I know it's real hard for these young men getting on the buses. I'm watching them getting over. A lot of quiet going on tonight across the way from us for the Cardinals going back up the road. I'd say a lot of quiet.
It is a game, football I'm talking about, is a game that can really test your character. It can build your character, and unfortunately it can break you down sometimes, and the Colonels are going through a little bit of all three of those at the moment. We'll see what happens next week against Dan River. We'll be back at home. Our broadcast will be on at 6:30. We got to do our players of the game before we get out of town. For the Gretna Hawks, man, a great team, a balanced team, and as you said, we called a lot of different numbers. That defense could get the player of the game, but I'm going to go with their sophomore quarterback, Tabron Mabins. He ran 3 touchdowns. He threw a touchdown, and he was very good at guiding that offense. Just never really made a mistake. I mean, even his incomplete passes, they never really hurt him. He missed in the right spots. He's a polished quarterback. Crazy to think he's just a sophomore.
Crazy to think. He's averaging 114 yards. He's in the air per game. He's got 571 yards on the season before coming in tonight. I concur with you. We've seen a lot of, we've called some big names. Grayson Overstreet, the other gentleman from Stanton River. Last week, Mr. Warford. This young man as a sophomore, one of the best that I've ever watched to be that young.
Solid football player and fun to watch, too, for sure. On the other side for the Altavista Colonels, a couple different ways you could go here. I'm going to go with a sophomore for Altavista, number 21, Tyler Gord. We called his name a bunch when the Colonels were really having that momentum swing there midway through the second quarter, parts of the third quarter. I thought Gord was one of the guys that keyed that with his play on defense there at the defensive end spot. So I'm going to throw the spotlight on young Tyler Gord.
And let's just make the spotlight last about 5 seconds longer.
There you go.
Because I don't disagree with you. He was back. He was tenacious. He was quick. He was cheering his defense on, telling them to get back in the game. Didn't give up. An exemplary of that Colonel spirit that we all know. And, I want to ask one thing before we go off and you close us out. We need a strong contingent. We need a loud contingent next week in English Field. It should be the weather forecast long-term. Looks good. One of these Friday nights that we're going to have. But I really hope that everybody's in the stands early, has WKDE on their radio, and are ready to go. Watch us play a really solid Dan River team next Friday. And let's get this momentum back where it deserves to be for Colonel Nation in English Field.
I like it there. Good stuff, Mr. Jarvis. You heard him, fans. Make sure you're out there. Don't let the guy down, okay? And our broadcast is made possible with the support of the Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista. D.L. Bryant Heating and Cooling. Call Donnie at 841-1580. Highview Motors GMC, from small to tall, Highview has it all. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, family serving families since 1905. The Altavista Office of Economic Development. We invite you to come find one of a kind. PCM Industrial Services, now with mobile welding and repair service. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer, warm in the winter, comfortable in between. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. El Cazador, Altavista's original Mexican restaurant. Napa Auto Parts of Altavista, find your Napa know-how on Main Street. The First National Bank, helping you bring home more bacon. Feller Chevrolet, now offering a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And English's, your complete home center, will be broadcasting live from English's tomorrow for their open house and big sale. All the brands that you know and love will be on sale, and they'll have some giveaways. Habitat for Humanity will be there. We'll be there. Come by, say hello. Our live broadcast will start about 9:30, Dennis, but English's will open the doors as usual at 8 a.m. if you really want to get. Might have to get there early because with the sales, some of the stuff might get sold out. You know, if you got a special size, any of that, maybe just anything.
Real quick, for Altavista Colonel fans and those listening, saw on the marquee coming down to the game tonight, they got Virginia Tech coolers, and they've got some other hokey items. We've got one of those biggest game tilts in the Commonwealth going on tomorrow night. Game day in the house.
Yeah.
ESPN, ABC broadcast at 8 p.m. Clemson versus Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Tech fans are all fired up, and it's going to be a good weekend of football for sure. We had a good night tonight. Gretna Hawks get the win, 39-0. We appreciate you tuning in. We're back with more high school football next week. Pre-game show, 6:30 between Altavista and the Dan River Wildcats. Hope you tune in to hear it on 105.5 KD Country.